Mhm.
I just disappeared.
I know. I was like, we're missing someone.
Right. Hey,
No, I was like,
everybody out there.
Happens
How's
to
it going? What's up,
me a
Alexander? What's
lot.
going
Like
on?
I'm sitting here and I just poof. I'm
Yeah, I know. Your
gone.
internet just craps. Well, you have internet issues too, so yeah. Hi, everybody out there. How's it going? Hope you guys having a wonderful night. Thanks for being here. Um, yeah, I know you're fooling around, man. Well, today we have here Jax. She's my co-host. Michael. He's a paranormal investigator. Um, Dirty South Paranormal. That's Matthew and his
Hey
wife
guys.
Emily. And Brenda. I want to say Brenda. You know, Brenda. She's a paranormal investigator as well. You'll meet her in a minute. um, so we're gonna go ahead and start with some get to know everybody on the panel. Um, who wants to go first? Michael,
Well, I'll
did you
go
want
first.
to? So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born in the north, and I have always had somewhat of a connection with the paranormal, but never really gave it a lot of thought of like, hey, I could become an investigator until about 4 years ago when Matthew approached me about joining a team. Well, maybe 3 years ago, and he, talked to me a little bit about being on the team and what it meant, and I was like, wow, I could actually do that and learn from it. And so that's how I joined Dirty South Paranormal. And I'm also a part of the Ghost Ship Hunters group. That's a paranormal team. Sirens of the Expanses, Potter Paranormal, and I help out Para Unity. And so I started becoming a little more active in the paranormal community. I believe in, going in with a little bit of healthy skepticism, but also respecting the locations. And so that's a little bit of my paranormal side. So, Brenda, I'll let you take it.
hello. Well, I do not have that much background at all. I uh, started investigating probably about 2 years ago when Dirty South Paranormal reached out. Um, it was my first time. I started, just a flashlight and a phone pretty much, and I was hooked instantly. I pretty much always experienced paranormal, never really knew that I was experiencing it until I got older and understood what was going on. Um when I'm not doing that, I'm a mother of 6 children, one of which is a newborn. So I stay pretty busy, and that's about it. Go ahead, Matthew, Melly.
Hey, sorry everybody, I'm trying to eat my dinner, so bear with my noise.
That's okay.
Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Melly. I'm one of the co-founders and leads for Dirty South Paranormal. Me and Matthew started this journey about 2.5, almost 3 years ago. Um, I personally got into it because of personal things that have happened to me. When I was growing up, as I was younger, we had lots of entities and ghosts and pretty crazy stuff in my house. So I've always been curious about it and wanted to explore more. And so when I met up with him, we just
I don't know what it
decided to
is.
start. What's that?
What, Jax? Oh, good.
Oh, anyway, so yeah, that's how I got started in it, and I just love it. It's a
Nothing.
passion of mine.
Cool. So what inspired you to name your channel Dirty South Paranormal?
That was actually me. I am the one who came up with the name. I thought it was pretty cool because they call the South dirty. So I figured, well, we live in Texas, so why not Dirty South Paranormal? And it just stuck.
Okay, cool. So Michael, what does this channel mean to you? Like, um, when you first started their channel, their group, what did it mean to you? Like, paranormal wise.
It meant a way that I could validate some experiences I had growing up and experienced around, and also a way of where I could look at it in a new perspective of, what is going on? Is this, something that can be explained? Is it not? And it really helped me to try and learn how to discern things. And so it gave me a new perspective in looking into things. And I even carry that over into my personal life and every day of, when somebody approaches me, I listen to them and I say, well, that's really cool. You had that. Now let me go on my own, research it, see what I experience, what I feel about it, and go from there. So it's allowed me to make some peace with my past and have comfort going forward. How about you, Brenda?
Well, for me, it was, believe it or not, was to overcome a fear of mine. And I know it sounds crazy because of what I do, but I'm afraid of one, the dark, and like the unknown. Like I'm like 5'9", and you know, look kind of intimidating, and tattoos everywhere, and I can't do the dark. I can't see in front of me. I'll panic myself, and it was kind of just to overcome that. I've made progress in that, and then another reason was to explore the paranormal. Like I've seen it on TV, I've experienced it when I was little, and now I understand what I've experienced, and I want to know more. I want to experience more, and it's honestly become a passion and a hobby. And another reason was to just kind of get out of the house. You know, like I mentioned, I got 6 kids, so I was like, well, I, a good mom's not out. And I'm not getting into no trouble. So just it was perfect. It was meant to be. I've been doing it for 2.5 years now, almost 3 with the team. So
Okay.
go ahead, Matthew.
Well, I got into this because Melissa was really into it mostly before me. My father was he was a hardcore Christian, so I was never really into messing with ghosts until I got with her. But after my father passed away, getting to speak to him through the spirit box, I thought it was pretty cool. And then getting all these people together each month, going to investigate places, we kind of become family. We love to go out to eat before we investigate. We get to know each other a little bit, and I've grown to care for the people that I got in my team.
So, was it? Like, I know, like, I'm just gonna say something. Like, I mean, like, I know I got brought up in the church. My dad was a Pentecostal pastor, and when I was a child, I loved the paranormal. Like, I would just, I would just watch all the ghost hunters, and my dad would be like, that's just from they're doing the devil's work. I was like, no, they're not. They're just doing their job. It's fun. You know, was there anything like that with you guys that, kind of, when I go into religion, but um, kind of like grew up in that kind of like element, kind of like.
Well, for me, it was a little different because my mother was Lutheran and my father was Christian. So my mother raised me to choose. And so when paranormal stuff would start happening, I was actually encouraged to, investigate it, and see what I form my own opinion. But I will say, talking to some friends about it is very challenging because of their faith. And so I do appreciate each of my friends, for where they're at and what space they're in. But I do cherish the ones that I can share everything with versus, okay, I respect you're not in the paranormal, so we just won't go there. So that's kind of my experiences with it. How about you, Brenda?
Oh man, my family was just like, "You're crazy," and I've had a few of them that were really intrigued by it and interested. But my husband is absolutely like, I don't care what you do, just don't bring nothing home with you.
Yeah,
he
right.
he actually sits at home with all of our children, and lets me go out there and have a good time. He's like, do whatever you want to do, just don't bring it back with you. And that's about as supportive as he gets. But I haven't had anybody that was against it, or I've had to like convince, or just like whatever, man. I've had a few family members interested, but then they back out at the last minute, and I've not had no issues. What about you?
I would say the only thing my father told me a lot is to never mess with the Ouija board. It's no good. But if he knew I was into the paranormal after he had passed away, he probably would get on to me a lot because he was big into Christian, reading the Bible every day and stuff.
Yeah. Cool. I got a question. Okay, this is for everybody. We're just gonna go into our circles, but we're gonna do it like this. Okay, I know there's a lot of skeptics out there, and there's a lot of people be like, "Oh, you got what? It's fake and blah blah blah." Do you guys get any of that?
I actually have, and my answer to them is I don't know how to fake it. I'm not that tech savvy. You can ask anyone on the team. I'm like, when it comes to creating videos or anything, I don't have a clue. And so if when I got someone came after me for saying I faked an orb, I just looked at them and said, I honestly don't know how. If you do, great for you, but I don't. So thank you for your input. But that's how I tend to deal with it is if you're respectful about it, I will give you time. But if you just, I feel like you're just saying, oh, you faked it just to try and get your 15 seconds of fame or 15 minutes, then I tend to just brush you off and be like, I don't want to play that game. I'm here for the real, and I'm not here to play games. So
Thank,
that's my take. So how
thank
about you,
you.
Brenda?
I just tell them, try it out. Like, go see for yourself. I'm not gonna sit here and try to convince anybody. But the things I've shown people, I've not really had anybody be like, "That's fake. That's fake." They're more intrigued. They're like, "Oh wow!" But I know there's a lot of people that are skeptical, just as there's a lot that believe. So I haven't really ran across anybody that was like, "Oh, that's fake." They're just kind of like, "Man, I don't want no part of that," or "Wow, interesting." So I still wouldn't argue with no one. I'd just be like, "Well, you're not gonna know until you try it out for yourself." You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, right?
Exactly.
What about you, Melly?
Thank you, brother.
This is Matthew. She's still eating, but this is what I would think. If you don't believe it, try it out. Before I got into it, to be honest with you, I was kind of a skeptic. But when you get an EVP or a picture, it's pretty. When you hear something or feel something, it it's crazy. So it makes you want to go back for more. It's like getting a tattoo. It hurts, but you're still gonna go back and get more.
Nice. So what type of equipment do y'all use?
Right now, I use mainly digital camera, full spectrum camera, and app on my phone called Ghost App. It's got a little blue hand on it. And I have recently gotten an Ovilus, so I'll be looking forward to trying that out and experimenting with that. And I recently also got a tri-field meter and a K2 meter, so I'll be testing those out as well. That's the equipment I'm currently at. How
Hey,
about you, Brenda?
real quick, Michael, what kind of results do you get out of that? Some ones you're using now.
Um, with the full spectrum camera, I've gotten really interesting orbs that when you zoom in on them, it kind of looks like there's writing or could be numbers in it. And I've also, on my cell phone, doing a live, have gotten an EVP that was clear as day that I didn't hear because you'll see I don't react to it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And when somebody paused it, they actually found a shadow of a child at a location right after hearing "Leave Me Alone," and it looks like she's crouched, like she's hiding underneath the table, and so that was really cool. So the live feature I enjoy because it allows others to help you see and hear what you don't see and hear
Mm-hmm.
while you're doing the investigation.
Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome.
I got pretty basic stuff like my phone I use for photos and sometimes recordings and videos. Flashlights always, because I'm afraid of the dark, so I have to have plenty of flashlights. A SLS camera, a digital recorder. That's about it. Maybe an app or so on my phone. I don't really have a lot of gear. I don't really need it. I get a rush out of just being in the moment and having little to no gear with me, honestly. So, and then I have a Phasma box. That's another thing that I have. What about you, Matt?
Hey guys, it's Melly again. The equipment that I currently use right now is number one, always a cell phone because it can take pictures, videos, and do voice recordings for EVPs.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I use lots of flashlights like Brenda. And then we also use a K2 meter, an SLS camera, Spirit box. We have 2 apps on the phone that we like to use as well.
The Paralight.
Oh yeah, we have a Paralight as well.
What is a Paralight? I've never seen one before.
He said, "What's a Paralight?" Hold on a second.
Okay. I'm over it. I'm just curious because I'm just like,
The Paralight is basically a K2. Another investigator actually created it, but it's a lantern. You pull it up. It's actually much better than the K2. It's not as easy as to set it off.
Uh-huh.
If you see in a lot of the videos on YouTube, the people have their K2 and they'll have their phone straight up on it. And if you have your phone near it or anything electronic, it'll set the K2 off easily.
Oh, awesome. I know a lot of investigators. They use that and stuff like that, and use different kind of equipment because I never seen that one. That's all. Yeah. Have you guys ever been attacked or attached to anything? Well, has any spirits ever attached to y'all?
I haven't been attacked or anything attached me. The most I would say I felt is like I was at a location and I was in the middle of a doorway and nobody was near me. And I heard and felt the back of my shirt like flick, like they pulled it, snapped it. And I was like, wow, something's trying to get my attention. But I honestly, I do a lot to keep myself from getting attachments because I don't want to take them home with me. I prefer to leave them in their home where they're safe. And so, yeah, I personally haven't had an attachment. We did have one of our team members did, and we took care of it and helped them out. Brenda, have you had an attachment?
No, God, no. Whenever we're in locations with children, I do have like children. Like you'll see them in photos, like right there beside me all the time. Which I'm a mother, so maybe they can sense that. But I did have one location where the next morning I woke up with bruises. It looked like like 3 fingers had grabbed my wrist, and then I had some scratch marks. But I don't recall. I guess from all the adrenaline of being in the moment, didn't even feel anything at that time. It wasn't until the next day. But I haven't had anything follow me home. I kind of be very firm that you can't come with me. You need to stay where you're at and try to take precautions because I wouldn't want anything following me home for sure. What about you guys, Matthew, Melly?
So I did have my T-shirt pulled and I was scratched at Yorktown Memorial Hospital and at Old Part up here, which is I would say the most haunted in Texas. Old
Mhm.
Part. Well, anyways, we was upstairs and it felt like someone was taking a broomstick and beating from the bottom floor, and nobody was down there at the time.
Oh, wow, that is wild. I mean, I know. One more question. How do you stop attachments? Do you guys know how to, or like, I know Michael was saying that someone had an attachment. Did you know how you guys got rid of it?
One thing you can do is you can do what's called smudging, where you take sage and maybe sweetgrass and just let it surround you, and have someone cleanse your aura energy field. And another thing that you can do is Palo Santo, which is hard to get, but it is a sacred like piece of wood that if you can get it in oil or just carry it, I found that helps. Um, Another thing that I do is I carry with me shungite, which is a specific meteorite,
Hmm.
and it has properties in it that blocks EMF, and so it and my intention is that it prevents anything from attaching to me. And one thing that we did with our teammate was we put holy water over the spot where we felt the attachment was, and we gave her advice of how to, you know, do some staging and do some. They might have asked her to do some other stuff, but we take it very seriously and we do everything we can to help the person. Brenda, do you have anything to add on that?
That's pretty much it, except for you just gotta be very firm, like, and just tell them, hey, pretty much, you can't come with me. Be very firm and have belief, and that, and there are other crystals you can carry to help. But that's pretty much it, honestly. Anything else you could think of, Matthew and Amelie?
Everything they said, and also you can also get in contact with a psychic medium. Most of them know how to get attachments out,
Hmm.
but be very careful when you go in these places. Don't go in there disrespecting people because that's how you're gonna catch an attachment, and you don't want to do that. Trust me.
Okay. Another question. I know a lot about it. If everybody has questions, I'll just answer it. Um, we'll answer this one in a minute. Okay. Well, we'll just ask this one. What's your favorite piece of equipment and why? I know that Michael answered that one. I think.
My favorite piece of equipment would be the cell phone with the lives, but the new piece of equipment that I'm looking forward to trying, the Obulus, I think will become one of my favorite pieces because it gives me, um, I can hear their responses and feel like I'm actually communicating with the spirit. And so that I think will help, and that will lead it to become one of my favorites. How about you, Brenda?
Mine had to be the SOS. I kind of like being able to see because it kind of gives them an image, so you kind of get to see them, and it's always interesting to see them on the SLS camera and see what they're up to, and it's funny kind of the way they will move themselves and act and stuff. I've seen people have SLS cameras going and they're dancing and it's pretty interesting. That's my favorite piece. What about you, Matthew and Melly?
I would have to say the cell phone would be mine because you can video camera, take pictures, and voice record,
That's my favorite.
which you can get awesome evidence on by itself.
Okay, that's cool. I know SOS is pretty cool. Like even on the phones, you know what I mean. I mean, I know they have them on the app and stuff like that. And I know a lot of people are just like, well, they only pointed to like things that are standing, you know. Or I mean, because if you point them out to middle of nowhere, they're not going to show anything. A lot of people are kind of like not convinced with that. What's up, Second Star? Um, Now, if you guys don't mind, if you guys could take me to maybe a situation where you go into you approach a property, right? Because I know you guys, pay your way into to a location. But let's just say you guys see a haunted looking place in the middle of nowhere. What's the first thing you do when you approach the property?
The first thing I like to do is get a feel for what the energy is like there, and also see if like the owner's there and try and engage them in a conversation about it and see if they're open to it and if I can get permission to investigate, because I'm a firm believer of I will not start an investigation unless I have permission to be there, because I believe you can, by starting an investigation, possibly wake something up, and if they're not prepared for that, then you could open a doorway without knowing it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I firmly would say my first reaction is to get a feel for it and get permission before really delving into it and doing any research.
Okay.
What about you, Brenda?
I guess I'm kind of the opposite. I'd probably stop and take a photo and write down maybe like the address or something, because 9 times out of 10, if it's an abandoned building, there's not going to really be anybody there to approach and talk to. So I'd try to do some research on the property later on. I certainly don't want to step onto a property and catch a charge doing this. We always get permission. We don't even peek around at a location if it doesn't look like it's. We've been to cemeteries because they're public property, and we make sure, or most of them that we go to, there's never been any that have had gates and we didn't have access to, but we always research before we go into any location. We permission is very, very important in this field for me. What about you, Melly and Matthew?
Thank you, Brenda.
I would say just like being respectful to the spirits that you're going to go speak to. I wouldn't go into it because out of respect to the owner of the place, and also you don't know, there might be someone waiting around the corner with a gun, and if you enter their property, you might not just catch a charge, you might catch a bullet, and nobody wants to do that.
Nice. Well, yeah, I agree with that. And also like I mean, yeah, you also got to make sure you guys, if everything was safe and everything, you guys also got to make sure you guys got your a safety kit just in case you guys get cut as well. And also check y'all's equipment too. Um, do you guys have like a checklist for that? And how long? Here's another one to add to that. How long does it take to set up the equipment as well?
It depends on the locations where we're at and what we have access to. Um, Setup for us usually could take probably 5-10 minutes because we pretty much carry our gear around. So we set our stuff down in a what we would call a base camp and then go from there. And what was the other part of the question? I forgot.
Um, it was how long does it take to set up the equipment?
Um, that part I answered. I would say roughly 5-10 minutes because we don't set cameras in places and leave them. We don't have that
Okay.
sophisticated equipment yet. So
Okay.
ours is all we carry it by hand.
Okay. Cool. Well, how long does it like you know how I know you guys don't carry much, but like where do you guys keep it so you guys can have it safe? Because of course, like you guys are going in there um in dark elements and stuff like that, and you guys can fall and everything. And how do you guys protect your equipment?
We have a central room where we pick to be our quote base camp, and we just will set our stuff there that may not have a lot of windows, may have one door to enter it, or maybe on a level that is really hard to get to, so we don't have to worry about not coming back and it being gone. And the other thing too that we do is if we're at a location by ourselves, we will close the door behind us so that nobody can come in, and then we'll just lock up when we leave and let everybody know, let the caretakers or owners know when we leave, so that they know, everything is locked up and secure. Brenda, do you have input on that?
No, not really. That about sums it up. Sure. We take precaution and we, like I said, we carry everything pretty much in a backpack, or we have vests that carry our stuff. So we're all beginners, so we haven't had the chance to build up our little collection. We're in the process of getting more gear. Matthew and them have a drone. They forgot to mention that. I think it's pretty cool. We're always adding to our gear, so I'm sure later on it'll take us a little bit longer to set up, but for the most part, it's pretty fast. We're kind of late arrivals sometimes. We're always late to the party, but when we get there, we're ready to get to investigating, and that's it.
Hey, sorry guys, what was the question? He was using the headphones.
We're talking. Well, sorry, we're talking about like what where do you guys keep your equipment when you guys are using it? Do you have a vest for it, or I know Michael said it was a station system there. Y'all guys can put all
Yes.
the stuff there. So um,
Yes.
go ahead.
He
I'm sorry.
he already answered the question as I would have answered it. We usually find like a good spot in the building, somewhere where we know that there's not a whole lot of other entry doors or broken out windows or something like that. A safe location where we do put all of our stuff. But like he also said, we also carry around a lot of our equipment on our backs, just so
Mhm,
we know that if people do try to break in, which has tried to happen while we were at a location before.
mhm.
Um, that way we know where our stuff is and everything. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate that.
Hmm.
Um, the question. As an owner, like, do they ever say to you, "Don't use this type of equipment because it might upset the spirits, and they don't want to deal with the extra haunting add to it, like put fuel to the fire."
To be honest, I haven't had that conversation with any of them. But if they did, then of course, because they're the owners, I personally feel like I would have to respect their wishes and And if they said, hey, we don't want videos or pictures, then I would say, okay, and just carry around another piece of equipment that doesn't do video or audio or, recordings
Hmm.
or take pictures because they're being kind enough to let us come in and investigate. And so I don't feel like because I'm the investigator, I have the right to go against their wishes. So I would definitely say I would always heed their advice and wishes. What do you think, Brenda?
The only thing I've really had someone say is Ouija boards, which we don't really we don't mess with that at all. We've gone to a property where there was a Ouija board, and before we even started our investigation, we asked them if they could kindly remove it because we didn't feel comfortable even being around it. So that's the only thing that you know we've had people say. We don't mess with that around here, or and they pretty much like if you want to do what you want to do, and that's that. So that's the only request I've ever heard. Anything else you've heard, Melly or Matthew?
Same thing Brenda said. They've several locations asked no Ouija board or no black magic, which we do not condone. And hopefully, if you are doing it out there, be safe, which is not very safe. But know what you're doing before you do it is all I'm saying.
Okay, cool, fair enough. Okay, I know that you guys are a team, right? You guys do things together and everything else. And let's say you guys are in a situation where you guys are in a building investigating at the same time and different areas. And let's say because I know that you see a lot of teams that drop something and they're like they don't say it's them that did it. You know, um, do you guys like working with teams and why and what's the pro and cons about that?
I do enjoy working with other teams, and with the team, we do collaborate on times with other teams. And my answer to that is like you said, if somebody drops something and makes a noise, we'll all laugh about it, because it's fun and it's not all, serious, but it's also being respectful. And I would say, oh, that's funny that you dropped that. And bring awareness to it. Or if, somebody does it, I would hope if it's a different team that they would say, oh, that was us. We didn't mean to do it. But I know with Dirty South Paranormal, when we're investigating and we drop something or slam a door or make noise, that we acknowledge it and say, hey, sorry, that was me. Didn't expect that. So that's my feelings around it. How about you, Brenda?
Oh yeah, we for sure. We after we've done startling ourselves, if it scared us at that moment, we kind of like wait a minute, collect ourselves, and then we analyze it. Was that real? What happened? Or by then someone's like, oh, that was me. Sorry, and we could either dismiss it or we could keep investigating it further because we haven't found a reason for it. So we don't definitely always be like, oh yeah, that was a ghost. That was for sure. We want it to be that. That's what we expect, and we that's what we're out there looking for. But it's hit or miss with these investigations. So you're not always going to catch something, but we always analyze it, and we want it to be true. And if it's not, we're like, oh man, that that was good, but too bad it was Michael dropped something or bumped into me, or you know what I'm saying. What about you, Melly and Matthew?
I would say we love to collab with others, but if we would hear something, you definitely go and investigate it to make sure it's not a spirit or somebody. And if we do find something on the floor that belongs to someone else, we would give it back to them most definitely.
Okay, all right, cool. Melly, this is for you because I know that you were a sensitive, and it's going on about mediums work. I know, like I said, well, about mediums and everything. Like, do you guys just go in there as a team all like straight away, or let's say Melly's is sensitive. Do you guys let her go in first and check the place out, and she could tell you what the feel of the place, or how does that work?
My feel and experience has been when we have someone that does that,
Mm-hmm.
we always will send someone in with them because we don't like to investigate alone because something could happen. And if, for example, someone could go in and the energy gets real heavy and they can't breathe and they're, sitting down, if we're all outside waiting for them, then we don't know what's going on and that puts that person in harm's way.
Mm-hmm.
So we always take the stance of we may not be in the same room, but we will be on the same floor.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's always somebody there. So if something does happen and there is a reaction, that we can get on top of it and keep everybody safe. Do you have anything to add, Brenda?
Yeah, we definitely believe in the buddy system. Like you said, anything can happen. It can go from zero to something real quick, or just it can be a dangerous place. So definitely never send someone in by themselves. We do branch off when we're, like on the same floor or something like that. Um, but it's definitely we we take turns too. We'll investigate with them, like someone, and then we'll halfway through we'll swap partners because you're gonna get a different feel with different people. The paranormal's funny like that. It can react with, this person and not that person. So they kind of choose who they want to react with, or we'll be like trigger, like if it's they attack girls or they attack men, we'll send the guys in there just so we can get different perspectives and stuff like that. But we always keep someone together, and we just kind of do it like that. You think? What do you think, Matthew, Melly?
I would have to 100% agree on what Brenda said and what Michael said. All of that is 1,000% the truth. We never send anybody alone. Um, there are times that people do want to go off and try and see if they can collect, different evidence, but
Mm-hmm.
we always usually try and use the buddy system. If not, then somebody's usually trailing pretty close to them just to make sure that nobody gets hurt or gets an attachment or, possibly even fall downstairs or something.
Oh, I agree.
And another thing too is if we are going to go far, like on a different level, we will always let somebody know on the team. So if like there's say Melly, Matthew, and I are investigating somewhere, and it's two levels, and I say, hey, I'm not feeling anything up here. I'm going to check downstairs. I don't feel like I'm alone in there going to the lower level while they're upstairs because they know where I'm at and they know me enough to know, hey, it's been like 10 minutes since we heard from Michael. Something's wrong. They're not going to wait that long. They'll know right away pretty much if they don't hear from me, something's up, and they'll come find me and check on me. And so, I mean, we're not always together, but we are together in that we always know where each other is.
I'm pretty sure you guys use walkie talkies, right? Like in a big area, like.
We've tried it at one location, but normally we just get together in a group and kind of decide what we're plan of where we're going to investigate, how we're going to do it, and so then we meet, and then halfway through, like Brenda said, when we're about to switch, we'll kind of take a break, say, this is what we've experienced, found. Now let's go to this level and see what we get here.
Okay. Um, Fair enough. I mean, because I know that none of your team members want to get hurt, and safety comes first. Um, and they probably tell you guys that too, to always stick together in a location, because you don't know. Well, you guys don't know what you guys are gonna experience and everything else. Have you have another this is a question for you guys? Have you guys ever experienced something separate, but at the end collected the information together?
Actually, there's funny story about that is Matthew mentioned the old Park Hotel in Ballinger, and Brenda went with the team, and I wasn't able to make it. And in one room, she heard three taps, and I never knew what room it was. I never really, I heard about it, but a year had passed, and so it kind of wasn't in the forefront of my mind, so didn't really pay attention to it. And a year later, I go with them to Ballinger, to the old Park Hotel. And in the room where I hear a girl on the live that I mentioned saying, "Leave me alone," somebody taps me three times on the shoulder. You hear it on the live video, and I never felt it. And I told Brenda and everybody, "Hey, there's three taps here." And everybody said, "Oh my God, that's the same room that Brenda had three taps." And so it is possible for two different people to have the same experience. Have you had any experience like that, Brenda?
Oh, what was the question again? Sorry.
Oh, the question is like, um, have you guys ever had experiences and collect like different kind of experiences, but at the end you guys collected them together?
Oh, yeah, we always, like I said, we always collab, and we keep up via our phones, and we've tried to use the whole walkie-talkie system, and we when we experience it and we do like our break, because it's good to give spirit break during um you know well, during an investigation, because they use energy like we use energy,
Mm-hmm.
so you don't want to wear them out. So we'll break, and when we get together, we'll be like, we'll talk about what we've experienced, and then we'll be like, hey, we had something similar happen to us in the same spot, and that's kind of how we um you know verify what's kind of real, or what could be a potential evidence, and then we'll try to recreate, and or do something different, and see if we get it, more or the same experience. So yeah, there's been a couple of times that we've had similar experiences when we collab mid break, and or when we pass each other along the investigation, because we do that often, and we'll constantly pass each other, and um, we'll talk about it, especially if it just happened. What about you, Melly?
It's Matt. I'm back. I would say yeah. We we always if one person or a few other people go on a different floor and they have something going on, we always link back up together and we find out what's going on. And then most of us, everybody in the group, will go to that area to investigate more.
Okay, cool. And here's another one. Orbs, or and orbs. A lot of people, they they seem to be like saying, "Oh, it's all dirt, it's dust, it's whatever, bugs or whatever." What do you guys think about it?
My personal take is dust or bugs, we've all seen how it kind of floats slowly in a certain pattern, or like a bug zipping by. You can kind of zoom in on it and kind of see it for what it is. But to me, I call an orb when I zoom in on it and there's a face or a geometric shape, or it's moving straight up and then turns bright, goes down, and zips, to the screen. If it's moving erratic, to me, I have never seen dust in my life do that, and so I would call that an orb. Now, I know everybody has their own takes, but for me, it's When it's doing something that's unusual, that's when I pay more attention to it and don't just say, yeah, I'm in a room full of dust. How about you, Brenda?
I'm by no means an expert, so I'm learning. But there are just certain ways that orbs look versus dust. I've learned along the way, and like Michael said, there you can zoom in and kind of see bugs kind of have a shape to them, and I don't know. It's like I said, it's all new to me. So, but there's just something about it. You'll start recognizing the difference between bugs and dust, and orbs. And I've had one where it was a solid white orb, but it took the shape of when you zoomed in, it looked like a head with hair and arms and hands, and then like this wispy tail, and it was on the back of Melly's head. It was crazy.
Wow.
I definitely would say it was not a bug because it had definite features, and when I zoomed in, that you could definitely tell that it was not a bug. I can't tell you what it was, but I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Yeah,
What about you, Matthew and Melly?
hold on one sec, guys. It's like so it's like this, like I mean, it's like they see faces and orbs and stuff like that too, just like Brenda said about arms and everything else in them. That's interesting. That's pretty cool. Like I mean, oh, you can go ahead. And I was wondering if you guys had any pictures, maybe something you guys can share with us as well.
Yes, we do have lots of pictures of different orbs in different locations. I myself am very much intrigued by the orbs because I don't know, just to me, like when I see them, I just know what they are. I know they're from some other place, and we're trying to understand it. That's pretty much what our mission is to understand everything paranormal. So, yeah, we definitely have a lot of great photos that we can, they're on our social media. So anybody can go on there and look at them. We've caught some really cool photos with orbs. So.
Yeah, cool. I should have collected those earlier. I wasn't thinking. I was like, when I had a pre-interview with the guys, I was thinking, oh man, I should have asked for them. you know. Um. Let's see. What do you guys think about animal spirits?
My personal feeling is animal spirits are real. I have had experiences in my home to where I hear the little sounds of paws on the ground. Like I had two lossos that passed away when I was in college, and to this day, I'll hear their pitter patter, and it's so distinct. And you know it because you've heard it for so many years living with them
Mm-hmm.
that you know it's them, and you can kind of still feel it's them. And so I believe animal spirits are real. That's my personal feelings. Brenda, do you have input?
Thank you, Michael.
I don't. I've never really personally experienced any animal spirits, but I'm sure they are. I mean, there's so much that we don't know about. I mean, who's to say that there aren't animal spirits? I've seen some pretty intriguing evidence, photos and really cool video one time that definitely, looked to me like they were animal spirits. So, I mean, just because I haven't experienced it doesn't mean that it's not out there. It'd be pretty cool to put on the list and catch that evidence. And what about you, Matthew?
I definitely believe in animal spirits. Uh, they breathe like us. I mean, they do everything just like us. If we're gonna have a spirit and we're gonna go into the next world, we're definitely gonna see our animals there. We create bonds with them for a reason.
Cool. Hello, California Ford Raptor. He said animals do have spirits because I've seen them every day, sometimes at night. That's pretty cool. Like I mean, and I believe that too. So let's get to okay. Have you guys ever? Okay, you guys are in a location, right? You know something. You know how people say demons, right? They think and something flies at them with force or such and such. Have you like when something happens at a haunted location? Do you guys automatically think, "Oh my god, that thing moved with force? That's a demon."
My personal take on that is I have a more spiritualistic background, and so when I experience something, I don't sit there and my first thought be, oh my God, this is a demon. My first thought is, okay, what just happened? What's the spirit trying to tell me? Am I hurt? Am I okay? And so to me, I just feel like spirits have energy and it can be positive, can be negative, and it's all in perception. And if a spirit's trying to get your attention, but when they wind by your ear, trying to get your attention, and you're ignoring them, what do? We get a little more active, and they may tug you on the shoulder. Does that mean that a demon attacked you? No, to me it just means the spirit was trying to get your attention. Now, on the flip side is, if a spirit is scratching you, then yes, I would say that's a more negative energy and, could be. But I don't automatically jump to whenever I experience something saying, okay, there's a demon here. How about you, Brenda?
Well, I mean, from what I've seen and been studying, it if if it's with force, then and you've only been to that location once, it's more likely a poltergeist. And I mean, it definitely could be a demon, but there are tall tale signs, from demon versus poltergeist. But it's probably going to be a poltergeist unless it's known to have a demonic presence there. If it ghosts or they usually just do smaller things. Like we've had things move. We've had like a ribbon that was hanging in the ceiling, and there was no breeze or anything, and I asked it to move, and it twisted back and forth and danced, in front of us, and got it on video, and it was just the only one moving out of all of them. And we've had things do that, but it's usually not a demon if they do it without force. If it's forceful, we probably have a poltergeist. But it could very well be a demon. I'd like to. I don't want to really mess with demons. I don't want to go that far, because that's playing with fire. I mean, any of this could be dangerous, but definitely there are differences. Matthew.
I would say yes, just like Michael said, there's good and bad in everything. And I thank God that my team has not came around a demon because I do believe they could do some harm more than what a spirit can do. But just like Mary Wolf said, ghosts can move things. Yes, we know that for sure. On our last location we went to, an old investigator with us, she liked to antagonize. So she would talk a lot of crap to the spirits. That's
Wow.
one thing. That's one thing you don't want to do. And it was dark in there. We was live on Facebook at the time on our page, and you can't see how she got pushed, but you can hear the force that she got pushed with. She was being antagonizing them, yeah, and they let her know, that's nothing you want to do. They pushed her twice that night.
Wow. That is wild. I wouldn't like to be in that situation. I mean, especially antagonizing them. That's their own space. Especially if someone dies, like, and that's all they have left. You know. I mean,
So, hey, can I say something real quick?
yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So everybody in the chat, we're trying to get Eli to come on an investigation with us.
Oh
If
yeah.
y'all would like that, everybody put a 1 in the chat if y'all want Eli to come and investigate with us. That way he can experience stuff himself. I
Oh, yeah.
would love to have him.
Put one, guys. Well, I'm curious because just like like that's why I ask all these questions because I'm just like I want to experience my own self because I might have a different experience than y'all, you know.
Most definitely, most definitely.
That is the
You
key
you
to
you
paranormal
you
Listen, you guys,
you you,
he's gonna
you
come
might
visit
see a
me.
full body
Come visit me,
apparition
and
with
he's
your
gonna
own
see my
eyes.
pride.
Oh yeah, that right there would be amazing. And you know what? You know what's so cool about it? Sometimes you won't catch it on your
Well,
camera, but
Eli,
some people. No, go ahead.
Eli, just come visit me. Be okay. You'll see lots of them and hear lots of them. That'll break you in.
That would be awesome.
You won't sleep, but you'll see them and hear them. People don't like
Different
to stay over at
pizza.
my house too much. They're like, did you hear that last
Right,
night? I'm
Ron?
like, what are you talking about? What did you hear last night? And I mean, I know what they're hearing, but I like messing with them. I'm like, you heard a door shut? What? No, I didn't hear
I,
that. They're like,
I
dude,
would
tell me
definitely
you heard
come.
that. I'm like, no, bro, I didn't hear it.
I
I
would
I think
definitely
I would.
come stay the night.
Go
Oh
ahead.
my god! I'd be like zipped out of here. I
Oh, you know what?
mean, I so would, dude. I
Always
really will.
something happens. Like we set up a camera a couple weeks ago, me and my son, and there was like 3 hours of footage where he couldn't find the cord. He's like, okay, so what? I guess that's chalked up to the lost footage then. So we have another one we're gonna set up. But I went to my daughter's house to house it the other day, and he said he came out to the kitchen. And he's like, Mom, you know I come out to the kitchen, right? And I turned on the light, right? He goes, yeah, I turned on the light. There's 3 people sitting there. I'm like, well, what did you do? He goes, yep, turn the light back on. That's the room. I said, did you say hello? He goes, nope.
Oh,
I said,
that'd
well,
be
don't be rude. He
amazing.
goes, no, I'll just go back to my room.
Oh,
He
I
doesn't
we
like
would
would
it when
love
I'm
to
gone
have
at
that.
night. He like
Uh,
leaves.
we would
uh,
He leaves the
we
house.
would definitely be down. Like, yeah, that's a bucket list thing.
I definitely want to go because like I want to experience it and be like, like 'cause I don't have any
Hey, if you're
equipment
ever
with
in
me,
Arizona, I got a big old house.
right? Sup, shark
For
girl?
sure. My
No.
sister lives in Arizona, and I'm coming down for the summer, so
Oh, there you go. You got a friend.
definitely have to see if you're close to
You don't
her.
need equipment in this house, Eli.
There you go.
You just need your ears and your eyes.
Yeah. So what about you, Jax? You're quiet over there. Jax? Is he there?
Then he has seen it. Lost Souls, he's seen it. He recorded it. He saw it we were on a I'm not
So
quiet.
Frankie.
I'm
Frankie.
just listening. You throwing out the good questions, son. You already threw out to him. Like even an empath, it's got to be harder for you, like especially with kids. And there's been death of children. That weighs on the heartstrings.
Being an empath
I mean,
does
that's got to
make
be
it
hard.
challenging.
I bet it does. Like especially in your private life and everything else. Yeah, I mean, with the empaths, like I bet they can't turn it
Yeah.
off.
It is hard to turn off.
You sitting there enjoying a nice dinner with your family, and all of a sudden there's some person that is deceased, and he's tapping your shoulder, and your husband's like, "Who are you talking to?" you know, like must be hard. Like I mean, Millie, I know you were telling me about you, like, 'cause you're sensitive, and you see like can you let us know what you see? Like you see the person or you see the shadow?
I see lots of shadow people. I see lots of outlines, and I see like really dark, like areas, like a shadow person, but it just feels like half the room.
Cool. Did they like communicate with you? How did they communicate?
No, I don't hear them that much,
Hmm.
but I feel things. So like I can feel like if I like anger or like I can be overcome with sadness. It just all depends on the spirit and what it makes me feel.
Okay, cool. Because I know a lot of symptoms are different than others. Um, now, going back, I know a lot of you guys. Of course, we all have dreams. Do you think spirits can communicate with us through dreams?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Can you guys tell us a little story about y'all's dreams? Maybe if it came true or not, like I'm family member wise, or
Well, to be honest, I can't think of a dream like that, but I have had dreams where I felt like something was around that wasn't, like physically there. And in my dream state, because, it's a dream state, I talk with them and interact. But in real time, if I'm awake, then it's harder to do that communicating, because it's like part of your mind is like, am I really hearing this? Is this really happening? And so you start putting up all these blockers to it, where when you're in the dream state, you're in a more open space, and I would say probably a less judgmental space. You're not as caring what other people around you are going to think. Brenda, do you have any dreams like that?
The only time I've ever seen spirit in a dream is right after my granny had passed away. She came to me in a dream, and she just told me that I was real resentful. I didn't understand why. Why did she have a chance to live if God was just going to turn around and take her away anyways? She had liver cancer and came up for a transplant, and she actually died from the doctor cut her intestines, and it messed everything up. And so I was really resentful. And she came to me in a dream, and she told me if she could do it all over again, that she would, and that she was happy and at peace. And I've had my aunt, who I was really close to, come to me in dreams, and other family members that have passed away. I dream about them, and they appear to me in the dreams and stuff. So that's pretty interesting, and you know I enjoy being able to do that sometimes. What about you,
especially like,
Matthew?
okay. I bet you it's hard. Brenda, real quick. I'm sorry for interrupting. Uh, I wonder if it's hard though, because just like I know that you probably have conversations with them in their dreams and stuff like that, and if it's hard to actually think, okay, are they really giving me that the certain thing to do to better my life in a certain way? Like, do you wake up thinking like that, or like giving you
I,
consejos, or like
I've only really
advice?
had like my granny is the only one to ever speak to me in a dream. And that's because I think that she knew that I was real resentful towards God for a while, because of it, because it didn't make sense to give her that opportunity to live and beat the cancer, only to die from going into surgery to beat the cancer. So I was really resentful. So she's the only one that's ever spoke to me. It's usually they're just there, and I realize in my dream that I know that they're deceased. So it's not like I'm dreaming and they're just there and I don't know. Like I can acknowledge in my dream that they're not there, and sometimes I just cry in my dream, and I'll wake up crying, or they're just there in the background, especially when things are going wrong in my life, or I need kind of guidance, or I'm messing up. That's when my granny or my aunt likes to show up, and they give me these certain looks or something, but they don't really communicate. I just kind of know what they're you know I have an intuition of what they are saying, or thinking, or what they would say if they were here, because we were very close, and I know what they mean without words. So it's pretty cool, but at the same time it's really sad, because you know that they're not there, you know, when you wake up,
Oh,
and you wish that you could sleep, and they don't always come, and so you look forward to sleeping, and hoping that they will show up again.
Thank you for telling this story, Brendan. I'm sorry for your loss. I appreciate it. Dirty South Paranormal.
The same as with Brenda. Sometimes I'll have dreams, of my father who's passed away in 2017. Um, have him, like dreams of meeting him like in the next life, or he gives me signs of something in my dreams sometimes.
Oh wow. Does it like? Do you think with those signs, like, do you think that it's kind of like wild, sort of like thinking, is this for real? Like, you know what I mean? Because like he's deceased, and um, do you? It's just like me. Like when I dream something like that, I'm just like, wow, did I just talk to my dad? Wow, that's cool. It's overwhelming. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. Most definitely it trips you out, but it's nice having that moment, even if it's when you're asleep, because it's your loved one, so it makes you feel a certain kind of way, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I mean, like with me, like my dreams always come true. Like that's my gift right there. And when something comes true, I get deja vu, and it happens. And what makes me think about dreams is that I'm thinking, who are these people in my dreams? Why is there a lot of people walking around me? Like, do I know these people? I never met them in my life. You know what I mean? There's times where I'm in a room and I'm looking at names on the walls, and I'm like, I never seen this room before, but I'm packing my clothes. I was like, the smell of the food, like it's just a memory of everything and anything, even a car I never had, even a bike that I never touched in my life that I knew how to drive. Like, come on.
Do you have Netflix, Eli?
Yes, I do.
Have you ever seen this? It just came out a few months ago. We actually watched it within the first few days that it came out. Life After Death. If you've never seen that, you should definitely check it out.
Okay, you might have to text me that because I'll forget.
All right, I'll definitely do that.
Okay. Um, but like I'm saying, like I mean, we all have certain gifts, that that we have that don't we really don't tell nobody, because there's a lot of people that are scary. Something are scared about that. So people they were worried about people judging us and everything else. I know a lot of people like that. Um, Going back to the topic, what do you guys think about flashlights theory to communicate with the spirits?
Personally, I haven't tried it. Um, I've seen it on TV and watching it. I feel like there is potential, but in my mind, there's too many factors. Like the ones where if it rolls, it could, if it moves slightly, turn on. It's like did something happen that caused it to move? Was it a spirit? Maybe. Was it somebody stepped on a board and moved it, and so therefore it turned on? It's, to me, there's too many variables with it, so I don't find it as a one that I want to use a lot, but I would not be opposed to trying it myself and seeing it. How about you, Brenda?
Oh, that's one of my favorite things to use is the flashlight. I've seen it respond to questions, and no one be even near it. It doesn't roll. It sits perfectly still, and we've had them blink. Once for no, twice for yes, or whatever it is that you ask them, and it does it on command. And like I said, no one will even be near it. It's a pretty amazing experience, and it's just a flashlight. You don't need the fancy equipment. Those are some of our best equipments, are the non-expensive items. You know, what do you think, Matthew, about the flashlight?
I remember when we first started out our team, uh, our first medium, her name was Marie. She got a little bitty flashlight, and it was one of the turn flashlights. She turned it, and she put it up on the stage. We was at an auditorium, and there was a child there. We was sitting. Nobody was on the stage. We was all sitting in the parts where you're in the audience, and we sat it there, and she was sitting there asking questions, and that light would go on and off, and that was awesome. But just like she said, with the cheapest equipment, you can get the most out of it.
Okay, that's cool. Like, I seen it. I seen it done like on everybody's live streams, some live streams, and on, of course, TV, of course, But that would really freak me out if I seen a light just turn on and another one, answering your questions, and it freaks me out because I'm just thinking, okay, can I ask my family member they're here, Um, and
Yeah, and
I
that's what happened in that auditorium. It freaked us out. She was asking it questions, and it would turn it on and off. You can ask Brenda. She was there that night.
yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. I tried to get brave and sit in the auditorium, of course, right near the exit. But it was pitch black and the flashlight was sitting there by itself, and so I was like, I'm gonna be brave. And it was like one of our first investigations, and I sat in there by myself, and I started asking it questions, and I have actually still footage from then of where it turned on, and I was just like, oh, okay, like don't come any closer, stay at the stage, like I was like, I'm out of here. But it is really cool. I've never experienced anything like it, and I was pretty amazed at the results that we got from that night, and from then on, we've used it quite a bit. Not here recently, but we might be bringing the flashlight back on
That's
our next
amazing.
investigation, because we haven't used it in a
Yeah.
while. So I
How many
definitely might
flashlights?
be.
Yeah, we'll definitely bring it back.
How many
And
flashlights do you guys use in that one?
thank you, Marie, for giving us that. You know, we love you.
Knowledge.
How many
Flashlights.
flashlights?
Oh, I constantly am buying flashlights. I probably walk around with, I don't know, 5 of them and spare batteries, because they like to drain your batteries, and I can't be without one. So I personally carry multiple. I just got a nice little kit that had 8 miniature ones and a new headlamp. So I'm excited to bring those with me. I love flashlights, but we keep a nice little collection.
Oh, nice. That is interesting. Is that still like freaks me out in a little bit? No offense, because I'm thinking, like I said to you like a second ago, like, well, it's just like, hey, grandma, are you there? You know what I mean? You ask these questions, it's just like, wow, it's amazing. Like, I always wanted to communicate with my loved ones, and I try to do it on the Necrophonic app. And what do you guys think about that? The Necrophonic app, an app you guys use.
Matthew has that app, and I've been in investigation with him when he's using it, and I find it can be helpful because you can get responses from it, and and I mean, not every single response will make sense in the moment, but you'll know when you're hearing a response to your question, because you can pretty much feel it, that, oh, that's spirit in this room talking to me, has been my experience with it. I think Brenda and Matthew are more familiar with the necrophonics than I am, though.
Um, I don't remember what that one is. We use the Phasma box quite often, although I feel like you have to have a really good ear for that one. Um, I'm still learning to listen to it, because sometimes you'll have many spirits come in or at once, or it's just different, you know, way of them talking. So it's on a radio scanner. So I don't know. It's hard to understand sometimes if you don't have that professional ear. I've not had any loved ones come through. I I haven't had any feeling of them being around. I would like for them to be around, but I don't mess. The only place I would think that they would be around is at my home, and I don't personally mess with any of my equipment at home because that can attract spirit, and
Mhm.
I'm I don't want to attract the wrong spirit or and have that kind of thing going on at my home. So I don't really look to communicate with any family members or loved ones outside of my home. I feel it's all going to be from wherever, whatever's stuck there at that building or on the land or whatever was brought there is going to be there. So, and the only
No,
way I would hear family is at home or wherever they would have
agree.
possibly passed. So,
I agree, Brenda. Yeah, or do you try to pray before? I mean, maybe it'd be safer to pray before and after. Do y'all guys ever do that?
oh yeah,
Um,
during any,
Yes, we do.
we do. We we usually, if it's a pretty well-known area, we will sage after we leave as well, or ourselves, and um, take extra precautions based off of the locations. And then again, before I head home, because sometimes like we'll go, like we said, we're a family, so I'll go and I live the furthest away. It's like 3 hours, so I'll go and stay at Melly's house and Matthew's. And before I leave there, I'm like in my car and I'm like, hey, if there's anybody from last night, here with me, you need to go back to your location because you can't go. I just kind of take those extra precautions, and I pray and feel more secure when I do those things. What
okay,
do you
cool.
guys think?
I definitely think the Necrophonic app. We love to use it. Also, it's kind of just like the Pasmabox app. And another app I would say that's good is which is a free app, Ghost Tools. We've actually had people that have they said they had the Ovilus and Ghost Tools, which are basically the same thing, and it came back the same wording at the same time. That's how accurate it is.
Nice. Never heard about that. So how about with the equipment? Like, before you guys take off out of the location you guys are at, do you guys kind of like like sort of like just like Brenda said, like sage the prop stuff so nothing's attached to it?
Yes, we do that also. And one other thing I would say is if you're going to do a necrophonic session, for some people it's hard to hear it right then when it comes. So
Hmm.
what I would suggest is record it with your phone, video record it. We've had I had a we went to Amber Hagerman's gravesite, the Amber Alert girl.
Hmm.
I was actually her downstairs neighbor at the time of her kidnapping. We would play every day. Well,
His little
anyways,
crush.
yeah, we went there and we went to the gravesite and we did a necrophonic app session. And when you record it and you listen to it back, you can hear things
Oh,
like
wow.
I believe it said cutthroat, and we got that video up on our YouTube. And I didn't even hear it before I posted it, and then someone in the comments said, "Wow, cutthroat."
What? That is wild. Wow.
It's
I
crazy
mean,
that he mentioned the Amber girl because um, I've lived in Arlington around that time. We were the same age as that girl, and my mom actually told me that she used to babysit her. And it's crazy because we lived in the same town and we didn't even know each other until many years later. We were brought together by the same passion and hobby.
mm, that's sad what happened to her, but wow. I mean, it's just so cool how you can communicate with all with her, especially with all this equipment and stuff like that. It's amazing. How about UV laser lights? Have y'all tried that? Rim pods.
We had laser grids
Yeah, laser grids.
Okay. Or yeah.
before.
Mhm.
So, hey, Eli,
What's up,
you
man?
should definitely come on March 27th. And the place we're going to, they have the grids there, the laser grids. You can check it out yourself. And that's
Oh wow,
actually it's in the crematorium.
that would be amazing because I would be like, I'll be just
And
looking
hey,
for the
listen,
pictures.
you can use our equipment. You don't have no equipment, come have some fun and experiment something. You know what I mean?
Just bring an
Yeah.
open mind and a flashlight. Even then, we got flashlights. Just bring an open mind, and just knock it off the bucket list. You might find a passion or a new hobby. You never know.
Never know. I really want to
Yeah.
try because over here where I live at, like, it's all just that you got to ask permission, of course. Like and I'm just like, oh man, there's a lot of like, there's like a cabin that was um for the slaves and everything from way back then, and it has the same, it has like dishes from back then, and clothes and everything they left behind, and it's amazing. But yeah, I'll think about it. I'll let you know, and I will go because I want to go. you know.
That's what we love about it. It's not only the spirits, it's the history of the places that we go to, all the history that's been there, the people that's came through. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Just being there where other people have stepped in time, and knowing what it's just an experience, and even then, if you don't get no big experience or touch or nothing like that, just you'll have a good time. We always, at the end of the night, regardless of what happened or didn't happen, we had a good time. We've made memories, and we've grown closer and bonded with these experiences.
That's what it's all about. Because
Right.
most of the time, you're not gonna catch something like all these TV shows. You're not gonna catch it every investigation. So about I would say 80% of the time you're hanging out, with the people that you got with you. That's how you get closer with them people.
That's a good idea because I really want to go and like catch my own experience. You know what I mean? Like maybe I'll see an apparition. I think that's my goal. I'm not
Exactly.
saying that I will, but you never know.
I always
Exactly.
find the best way to go into a site is be open to whatever's going to happen. And if nothing happens, still be open to it because you may go home and check your photos and, check your videos or you know, maybe you didn't read the comments on the lives. And then when you get home, people started experiencing stuff and you start seeing stuff yourself and you're like, oh wow, something really did happen. So
Oh,
I always find it's best to go in like a blank slate with no expectations because then I feel like you're gonna get more.
exactly. And I agree with that. Like yeah, that sounds like a good deal because I really want to go. you know.
You're more than welcome to join us on any of them.
Oh yeah, because I'm like I've been thinking about it. I'm just like, oh, I want to go. I want
And
to go.
and listen, you don't just gotta come to the investigation. You can meet up with us before and you can go out to eat with us.
Oh,
You
there you
know
go.
what I mean?
Hey, there you go.
You
I
get
want to
the
go to
real,
McDonald's.
the
Yes.
full DSP experience.
Oh hell yeah! Hey, I'm there for food. You know what I mean? Like I
Eli,
won't say
just
no.
take Jason. He'll hold your hand. Eli, take Jason. He'll hold your hand.
Oh, Jason. I'm like, oh,
I'm
hey,
just saying, he's
I'm
a cat.
here.
Take the boy. You're like, Jason, you
No.
coming? We're going. Let's go. I'll go if you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jason will run. No. How
No,
about
he's down. He'll
cemetery?
do it.
Come on, Jason, talk him into it.
Yeah, Jason. Let's talk about cemeteries, guys. Like, have you guys ever been to a
I'll talk him
cemetery?
into it. I'll talk him into it. It's
You
White
will,
Wolf.
Jack.
He's right there in
You
the
will.
chat.
You will.
We've been to cemeteries, and to me, it's kind of a solemn place. But one of the things I like to do is because I have a history background, is especially when I see veterans, tombstone of veterans like the Vietnam War or World War II. I always look at the date to see when the date was. And for example, like we were at a cemetery And there was a World War II vet that died in the 50s. And I said, I'm so glad, thank you for your service, and I'm glad you were able to come home
Mhm.
and experience life. And, it continued on. And if they died during the war, I simply just thank them for their service, because I feel like even though they're a spirit, I think deep down, if they appreciate, being appreciated and remembered, and knowing that their sacrifice wasn't in vain, that we still remember.
Mhm.
And I, at times, would feel like somebody's watching. And so I just take comfort in knowing, I'm not being unruly. I'll always, if I step on a grave site, I'll apologize for stepping on them. I didn't mean to, because I don't know which way the casket is, and so I try my best not to step on them. But if I feel like I do, I always like to apologize and be respectful.
Oh
How
yes,
about you, Brenda?
especially when it's dark
We,
out there.
I've been to a few of them. I've kind of felt like I've empath, and so like I say, I'm more like I feel feelings and emotions, and so when I do go to them, I feel all kinds of sadness, and so I really don't like to go to them because it's an overwhelming feeling, and I'm still trying to learn how to handle that and stuff. Because like I said, I can still consider myself a beginner even after almost 3 years. There's so much more that I don't know, out there. But I I am kind of intrigued by them and drawn to them at the same time. Just because I have no idea why, but at the same time, like I said, I don't like to be with them because I get an overpowering sense of sadness and grief and all of that, and then come the waterworks, and I'm crying. So I try to avoid them, but I'm also drawn to them.
All right,
Matthew?
thank you.
I love cemeteries. There's a lot of beautiful statues there. Um, we've been to a lot of cemeteries. We've done Dimebag Daryl, um, the Amber one, Billy the Kid, Jesse James, and we all went there. We went there with the necrophonic. Was asking questions, and we will soon. We'll be going actually and doing a Bonnie and Clyde series where we're gonna try to do an interview with Bonnie's niece and Clyde's nephew,
Oh wow,
and we're gonna go to their gravesite and go with the necrophonic and do a video there also. And then we're also even gonna do I'm a big time wrestling fan. We're gonna check out the Von Erich's gravesite. The Von Erich family. I don't know if you know who those are, but they've done the Iron Claw.
uh, I'm not very a good big fan of wrestling, but it sounds pretty cool. um, um, yeah, I think it sounds pretty cool. I know who Jimmy the Snuka is, and um, Hulk Hogan, and like yeah, but no, I mean, but that's pretty cool though.
Yeah,
Um,
them are old school wrestlers back in the 70s and 60s. That's actually my dad's era of wrestling. He loved the old wrestling back then. He would go there as a kid all the time to see these guys.
nice. Yeah, I think I only seen it on TV. Like I'd like to go to that one before. I mean, one day. So, um, do you guys believe in reincarnation?
I personally do. I've had experiences in my life I couldn't explain without it being a case of reincarnation, to where I've walked into a house that I've never been to, but I knew where everything was. I mean, down to I knew where the silverware was, and I never really gave it thought. And I was telling my friend, I was like, yeah, let me go get you a glass. And I said, isn't it above the sink to the cabinet to the right? And they're like, yeah, how'd you know that? I'm like, I don't know. It's
Wow.
just something in me, you know. It's almost like a deja vu, but it was more deeper than that. And so I personally feel like there are times where we return where we've been before. And so there's a sense of familiarity that triggers memories. That's my personal take on it and belief. I don't know about Brenda and Matthew and Mellie's take though.
I believe in it. Just like I said, the After Death series, it opened my eyes to a lot. And they actually got something in there about two children, and I kind of believe it.
Nice.
One
Yeah, I
experience
believe.
I could, yeah. Go ahead, Brenda.
No, I was just agreeing as well. Go ahead with your experience.
My parents, because they knew I was in history, we went through the battle site of Vicksburg, and my mother was in shock because I would be in the back seat and I'd look out the window and I'd say, okay, that's where the Union line was, and they were racing this direction, and there were cannons over here, and it's like I was laying out the whole battle plan. And she looked at me and she goes, "How do you know this?" And I said, "Because I remember it. I remember seeing it." And it's like I could smell the gunpowder and blood in the air. And it's like I'm watching a video unfold in front of me. And it's like what I would call like a lucid dream. It's like, but it wasn't a dream. It's like I felt like I was really there and
Mm.
I could feel it.
Wow. That's wild. Did Brenda have a chance to talk?
She
Oh
did.
yeah,
Okay.
I've never experienced any reincarnation myself, but from what I've learned and been looking into that, uh, it would seem like it's possible, and that you do have a reincarnation. I'd like to believe that there's something else, whether it be afterlife, reincarnation, whatever it may be. But I'm not personally experiencing anything like Michael has. A sense of deja vu and being there before and being in a past life. I would like to really get a reading, because apparently you can get past life readings, and not everyone, I guess, has a past life or have been reincarnated or given, a second chance, or what may you call it. So I'd like to. It'd be really interesting to see if I may have a past life, or was someone different at a different time, or I think it'd be pretty interesting, and I'd be open to hear it.
Nice. I mean, my taking it. I think it. I think I had another life before this, um, uh, and I know I used to live back then 3 times, and I used to be a worker in the fields, and I fell in love with the person, and I couldn't be with her. It was sort of like it was forbidden, and I died because of it. That's how I felt my past life.
Man, you should really uh maybe you should make a video on that and post it on your YouTube. That'd be pretty cool to hear the whole story.
Oh yeah, it's a long story. yeah, um, yeah, no, because like it's just a feeling, like it's the feeling of being out there working in dirt, like it's the feeling of that lost love. You know what I mean? That love that you know and it's kind of weird. I found it with my fiance, like it's like that love that when I finally found her, I was like, that's the one that I felt like I was missing all my life. You know what I mean? Like I known her for the longest time, and we have this great connection. She feels the same way too.
Yeah, there are times where I'll go say like into Oklahoma and just cross the border, and I'll get the feeling like I found a piece of myself, that there was something that was calling me there, and just, it doesn't have to be, it wasn't necessarily a haunted location or anything, but it's just like I left that spot feeling like, I feel like I'm renewed a bit, like I'm more whole, like I lost something and I just found it. And so that to me, I feel like may be a part of reincarnation, as well as, we tend to go places to collect ourselves.
Exactly. Agree. I mean, we all take it in different kind of ways, like our reincarnation. It's just like people believe in heaven and hell. What do you guys think about that?
Oh, I'm
My
off
personal,
topic.
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Brenda.
I was gonna say off topic from the whole reincarnation. I don't know why it came to me, but I've had a doppelganger, I guess, experience. Like, have y'all ever
Ooh,
heard of
okay.
that?
Yeah, I heard
I've
about
been
something
in
like that.
I've been to several towns and little cities and even states at different periods of my life, and I will have complete strangers come up to me and tell me, you look so familiar. I know you, and I'm like, man, I'm just passing through. Like, there's no way you know me, and they're like, yeah, you got that face. You look so familiar. And I literally had one lady. I was in Oklahoma on vacation, come up to me and ask me. I was like in high school, and she was like, hey, she called me by another name. She goes, why aren't you at work today? And I was like looking at my uncle, and I was like, what is going on? This lady, is telling me why I'm at work. I'm still in school and out of state, at an event. And my uncle was like, she thinks she knows you. And then I guess the lady realized, oh, wow, this isn't who, I thought it was. So I've had that kind of experience. Sorry, that was off topic, but it came to me.
Wow.
Brenda, I had a instance where I went to a store in Plano, and I went to pick up my mom's order,
Mhm.
and I walk in, and every single lady that was working behind the counter looked at me and go, "Oh, you're back already?" And
What?
I go, "I beg your pardon?" And they go, "We just saw you literally. You literally just left like a minute or two ago." And I said, "I just got here." And they're like, "Really?" Well, then your doppelganger was here. That's actually what they said. Your doppelganger was here. So I
Wow.
just barely missed seeing my own doppelganger.
Wow. But I heard that you can actually like die if you see your own doppelganger.
Well, there's only one way to prove it.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, I have no idea. I just recently learned about, like I said, there's so much I don't know about, and so much I've learned, and that's one of them. And it's crazy. I don't know. I've not known the ins and outs of it, but I don't think I would want to find out. But I am kind of curious as to what this other person looks like. Just if I had a photo or something, to just kind of see what they see, because I don't know. I don't feel like anybody looks like me. I'm me. You know.
Yeah.
So I'd really be curious to see what she looks like.
And to me, I was always told doppelgangers are like your opposite, your twin. Like if you're the good twin, your doppelganger would be the bad twin. And so I've always thought, like, when they said that, I was like, huh, well, now I got to think, am I the good one or the bad one?
Right, right. That's what I was thinking.
Right.
What's good and what's bad, huh? What can we?
Right.
uh,
Well, I think everybody has a twin in their life, but when it comes down to it, is there's called multiverses, and sometimes we collide into them, and we don't know it. We could do different things to actually um, make that happen, by changing the way we do things and stuff like that. And maybe it collides. Maybe it collides and people see different versions of ourselves.
See, and there are times I think when we go to a haunted place that, we're assuming the spirits are tied to this location. And, like, for example, we were doing an elementary school or an abandoned school, And we all were saying, were you a student here? Were you a teacher here? And I was like, well, there's like 4 other haunted locations nearby. So I started saying,
Okay, Vinny.
were you at the hotel? Or were you at this spot?
No,
And in the back of my mind, I thought it, but I didn't say it because I thought people will think I'm crazy. But I was like, are you even of this dimension? You could be from another dimension passing through, and
yeah.
we're just getting a glimpse.
Yeah.
Or a portal in the location.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You know what I mean? We can have like different portals when we live at, and we don't even know about it. And I don't know how it feels to be in a portal. Like I never experienced one, but
I'm sure you definitely know that you'd have lots of activity for sure.
oh yeah, and like there's been a couple of times I took pictures and like one looked like a little tiny looking bear thingy in my closet and everything because there's supposed to be a little girl who died in my closet, and I'm thinking to myself, people say that it's my spirit guide, and y'all probably guys know maybe what do you guys think about spirit guides? Because I think I have a spirit guide, and maybe it's my grandma. Um, yeah, I will after White Wolf.
I have a spirit
Paranormal.
guide, and I'm a firm believer in spirit guides, and I feel like wherever I'm at in that stage of life, I have guidance for me, and it may not be the same person or same animal or same being every time,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like where I need to go, there's always someone there to help me get there because there are times where I'll be taking steps and I'll look back and go, wow, I can't believe I took that step. I never would have imagined taking that step. And then you're like, well, I did it, so something had to help me. And there are always times where I would be in thought and being like, should I, shouldn't I? And it's like you can get lost in your thoughts, and it's like something will always come to snap me out of it or bring clarity to it. And it's like, oh, thank you. And it's like I feel like those are what we call the life guides. Is they're always there helping us just to move along on the path of life, but to know that we're not always alone. Even if we are, we're not always. I've had strange smells around me that I've never smelled before, but are comforting. And so to me, I feel like that's a guide just kind of nudging me to go maybe
So
right
phantom
instead of
smell.
left.
It's sort of like phantom smells that make you think about that certain person.
Right.
Yeah, I had that before. I had smoke, perfume, all of this stuff, and it lasts
Right.
just for a second. I can't understand that. Like, I mean, if they're trying to leave a message, and it sort of like puts a tear to your heart, thinking, could that be someone that is really communicating with me and telling me they love me and they're always there for me?
Well, and I think if my personal feeling is the shorter with that, the better because it makes you go inside and go, that really made me feel, warm, like, that was someone I know and like could be family coming and visiting me to where I feel like if they stayed a long time and had like this grand talk, I feel like you may miss what the whole point of their coming to guide you in that moment was. Like you may be in a decision of, you know, taking this job and going this path versus, staying where you're at. And they come and, you're kind of like, wow, I felt my grandmother going, when I was thinking about this new job.
Yeah,
Well, if I go, well, so grandma, how's it going and everything, and you start catching up, you forget what you're originally there for. And so that's why I feel like sometimes they're really short because it's just meant to be like a little nudge or a small little push into what I call the right direction.
yeah, I
I
agree.
get that a lot from actually music. music speaks to me. It can seem like and that's how the whole spirit guide thing. Like I believe that people do have spirit guides because I mean I feel like what's that intuition, that voice on the inside and that gut feeling. That just isn't. You know that to me that's guidance, and spirit guide can also come in the form of like messages. Like I said, my music speaks to me. A lot of things, like when I have it on my mind or we're going through some things, I find a lot of therapy in my music. But the music can relate to what we're going through, and it'll speak to me, and I'll know that everything's going to be okay, or to watch out. Or it's weird, but that to me that's guidance. That's spirit trying to whoever it is, to let me know. Or I always see, they say the red cardinal is a loved one, and whenever I need a pick me up, or whatever, like I'll see a red cardinal today flew by, and music came on. It was Metallica, Unforgiven, and came on, and that was my aunt who passed away. She loved Metallica, and it's my all-time favorite song. And I knew she was there with me in that moment, and I could feel like, I could actually feel like something was like holding me, So I do believe in spirit guides and things like that, and that's how they work with me, and when it's my family and stuff.
True. Thank you for
Matthew?
sharing that.
I definitely believe in spirit guides. Uh, I think if it wasn't for the spirit guide, it wouldn't, push us to go further and do more than what we, get, basically break out of our shell and do what you need to do to, know. I believe my father is my spirit guide. He he teaches me to be a better man to my child and everything. That's what I believe. But I do believe everybody has a spirit guide.
Agree. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. Sorry for your loss and your loss, Brenda, and yours, Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Um, how about last and final? What is your Where's the one place you want to go that like paranormal wise to investigate?
Wow. When you ask that question, are we confining it to within
Like,
state US
yeah,
or
U.S. Because I know that's expensive to fly like out of the country.
I would say one of the places that I would most love to investigate would be places like Gettysburg or Antietam
Hmm.
or in our state. One place I want to investigate, I would love to, is near Gonzales.
Hmm.
And the reason behind those choices are Antietam and Gettysburg because there's so many untold stories there of what people saw and experienced. I mean, we all know about, with the Civil War, the soldiers, but I can't help but feel there were civilians caught in the crossfire, and their stories are never told. And the location in Texas is where we actually, as Texans, stood up and fired the first shots. And I found out when I visited the site that there were 3 skirmishes there, and I was never told that in history. And so I would love to investigate just to be one of the first to hear the stories and be able to say this is what happened. This is what it was like. And so that would be my dream paranormal experience. How about you, Brenda?
Sorry about that. I hit the back button. I was like, oh no.
You're good.
What did I do? Well, like I said, I'm new to this, so I'm really unfamiliar with like where all the hot spots are and stuff. So I don't really have like pinpoint location. I just want to be where the action is, not, demonic related to where I, have an attachment or be beat up in the situation. But I'd like to see a little action, a little more, maybe a shadow figure, or, some more movement or banging on the walls, just more is always. I'm just looking for the next level up to this. And my other big fan, what I would like to investigate is, like I mentioned, I love all things paranormal, not just, ghosts and things like that. Like, I'm a fan of, like, Bigfoot. I'd love to go Bigfoot hunting, investigating, or even aliens, UFOs. I'm fascinated about all of that. So if I wanted to investigate, those would all be the top things to do, just to do more investigations and more experiences and knowledge. Because, like I said, there is so much out there. And what about you, Matthew and Millie?
I'd like to check out the local hotel over here, Baker Hotel. They're restoring it right now, and it's a huge hotel, and it's beautiful, and it really hasn't been investigated by too many people. I mean, people that snuck in the place, but now they got it fenced up, and it's pretty hard for anybody to get in there. They're redoing it right now, and I would love to investigate there, all the history, and we was luckily able to get into a hotel that's actually being restored a few blocks away from there, and we was able to get in there and check that place out, and all the stains and the handprints that are left there.
Oh yeah.
The old signs, the old glass. I mean, it's awesome just to be able to check these places out, and we're very thankful for the people that get us in these places.
Wow. Now you say that, and it makes me. I like that you said that about, like, all the fingerprints people put on there and stuff that they didn't ever cleaned up. That's amazing to actually, like, to actually go to a place that is full of life, full of history, full of love, full of sadness, all at once. That's what you call beautiful history. And I understand the bad side of about it is that, but that's what they left behind, so we could remember them of who they used to be.
I like going to those type of locations as well because I feel like if their stuff is still there, maybe something happened, like a sudden, like, unexpected, event happened, in which case, they don't even realize they're gone. And so it's a chance to where you can go and meet a spirit and be like, you know, I'm sorry to say no longer on this earth, but you are free to go to another one and help them move on. And, I feel like that is an important part too to some paranormal investigations, is to help those spirits that never realized they had passed on because it was such a sudden or, traumatic event that, you can bring them peace, in which case you bring peace to the location. And, you know, but to me, that is something that you have to do with permission, because if you start doing that without permission, then I feel like you're opening Pandora's box, and you better be prepared for what's coming.
I agree. I agree on that one. You know, I want to appreciate you guys coming. Is it okay if I open the panel if you guys want to chill out and relax a little bit, and people come up and ask you guys questions? Is that okay?
Sure.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, we're down with that.
And I agree with Michael, though, man. Guys, I'm gonna open the panel up. I know I always go my 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half. But it's interesting the topics that we talk about, so we could bring out so could bring out what they do in investigation. And I mean, a lot don't do that. A lot want. I mean, everybody wants to bring out what they do and what their experiences are and what and what their goals are in their journey. And
That's the good thing about the paranormal. You can always learn from somebody, even if you're a veteran. If you've been in it for like 20 to 50 years, you can still learn with all the new stuff that's coming out.
exactly,
I'm always learning. Always. Every time is a learning experience. And
exactly.
I'm always learning new techniques and new methods to investigate and can't wait to try them for myself.
Uh, um, it's true, and it just. Well, I'm gonna put out a link, guys. Whoever wants to come up, as long as you guys respect the chat and the people on the panel and stuff like that, and it's all that matters. So there goes the link, guys. If you guys want to come up, and I'll post it up and stuff like that. Um, I don't know if people want to come up and say something about the paranormal too, and um, people have like questions and everything. I have questions because I know that you guys have Oh, here goes chaos right there. What's up, chaos? What's going on?
What's up,
Look,
Chaos?
it's amazing listening to you guys and the experiences that you've had. I mean, there's so much knowledge between everybody on the panel. It's amazing. It really is, and I truly respect that. I've gone through a lot of things that has never been recorded and never taped. Unfortunately, do I believe it's the end of it? No. Do I believe in doppelgangers? Absolutely. And I've also heard that our doppelganger is supposed to be the worst side of us. The worst side of us meanings when we meet them, one of us has to end. That's how I've been brought up.
that's interesting.
Yeah, I've read a lot of that too, and that ties into a lot of what I've read as well, Chaos. So yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Most of the best evidence is unfortunately not caught on camera or any kind of. It's kind of just your personal. It's the best things that we've caught is when we weren't rolling or we weren't taking. We're just kind of just doing our thing, and we just kind of experience it, and we're just like, man, I wish we would have been rolling, or man, did anybody catch that? And we're like, no, but it
And
still doesn't
exactly.
dismiss it. It's
E-
Right.
Exactly. Eli, you remember that clip? The one where that little girl's voice during
I
my
do
live
remember
feed.
that. Yeah,
And then the guy's voice. Do you all remember that plane that went down in the Hudson River?
mm-hmm.
The one with Sully as the
I'll be
captain.
back, Jax. Okay.
Yeah, and
Yes,
he got fired for that.
yes, I do.
And and Eli was in the room, and I know he was.
I
We
was.
were talking about that, and all of a sudden, all I said is, "Oh," and he got, and before I could say fired, through the headphones, I can hear fired, and it was all caught on my live feeds, and it was recorded. I've caught three different EVPs through a live feed, and it was wild. Eli heard them, and he knows. He knows.
I've had EVPs to where I didn't even hear it, and then somebody will say, "Turn up the volume a little bit," and I'll go to the timestamp that they say it, and I'll be like, my jaw will drop because I'll hear my name clear
Yep.
as day, and I'm like, I
Yep.
was the only one in that area. Whoa, where did that? Who knows my name? Where did that come from?
Exactly. Today, my wife, Shadows of the Moon, she was doing her show, and I'm her co-host on her show. And about um, what was it? 10 minutes, 45 seconds in, um, I heard a dog bark, but it's only me and her on panel. But I heard a dog bark through my headphones. And stupid me, I'm asking anybody. I said, "Do y'all have a dog?" And it's like, well, even if they did, I wouldn't hear it because ain't nobody on panel. So I got to go back and listen to it again because I know I heard a dog barking. And we get a lot of where we live. There's so much activity in the area where we live, in the room that we live in. Not the room, I'm sorry. The apartment we live in. It's not even funny. I mean, Eli will tell you. I got a portal box here. That thing will ring all night long. It'll talk, and it's just, but it's not threatening. They just want to be recognized.
Oh, for sure. Most of them just want to be acknowledged. Is what I've come to find out. It's like they want, they've got something that needs to be said, or just, kind of acknowledgement, or their story, or, and usually it's just harmless. It's, you know it, 9 times out of 10, you're just dealing with a harmless spirit that's, either trapped in like a loop, or is active and intelligent, so they just want, they want to be acknowledged.
And another thing too is think about in our lives. We get ignored in places, and first person that acknowledges you, you get excited about. And so I feel it's the same with spirits. Is if you're not in tune or able to pick up on them, they get
Sorry, I
feeling
just heard a
like,
loud
oh,
clatter.
nobody believes I'm here. Nobody, is doing this.
Exactly.
And then the second you say, oh, I hear that voice. Did you hear that voice? They get excited because somebody can hear them finally, or acknowledges they're there. And so I think that's an important part of it. Is sometimes we forget that spirits are like us, and get tired of being ignored.
Well, that's like a kitchen table or anything on any table or anything. We arrange it the way we want it, and then you come back and it's moved, and it's moved because that person didn't like it there. That's not how it was when they were there, so they move it back to where they remember it. And it's not that they're trying to scare you or harm you. They're putting it back to where they remember how things were. But
Most
we
definitely,
but
they
we
just
keep
believe it's
moving
their
it.
space.
Exactly. We are invading their space. They're not invading ours. So they move it back to where it used to be. So everybody thinks, oh, we're haunted. Well, yeah, you are haunted, but you're not haunted in a bad way. You are in violation of their space, and they want to let you know that they're still there.
See, and I think that's part of the paranormal too. Is everyone sees all these horror movies and everything, and they call them paranormal movies. And when someone says, "Oh, my house is haunted," everyone automatically assumes, "Oh my God, you're having an evil this or a bad this," and it could just be, a caretaker of the home that's still caretaking the land and
Like a
means no
butler,
harm.
like a butler that means to put stuff back to where it was, and he's not there to cause any trouble. He's there to avoid trouble for himself. If I'm a butler and things ain't where they're supposed to be, I'm going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Exactly, and
Well, you
that
think spirits don't have sense of time either? Like they're, it could be like a whole day with them could be maybe 3, 4 days.
But do you understand there is no such thing as time?
No,
Time is
no, yeah.
man made, it is just a figment of imagination. There is no such thing as time.
So I'm
Um,
never really late.
exactly. Um,
nice try, Brenda.
I was told at a point when you die, okay, you go down. You might be wherever you're at, not heaven or hell. You're like in, I guess they call it purgatory. And for us, it only seems like 10, 15 minutes. But to everybody else that has mourned you, it's been 10 years.
Yeah,
But it's only been 3 minutes.
exactly.
Yeah, I
So,
absolutely believe that, and I believe there are times where I have personally had experiences to where I will be in talking with someone and they're picking up on a family member who may have died in their, say, 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And they'll say, well, I see this little girl who's playing with this car. And I will be like, well, I don't know who that is. I'll go home and talk to, maybe my mom or grandmother about it. And they'll say, oh, yeah, that was so and so in your family. You knew them this age. That, they did that as a kid. And so they don't know, they're not going to always present themselves as you last saw them. I believe they'll present themselves as in the figure or face that they always felt the most happy, the most
Exactly.
joyous.
Exactly. You'll always see them in their present state of their joyous emotions. I have to agree with that. I mean, if it meant harm, number one, I think if it means harm, it will never present itself in a visual, physical form right off the bat. It won't. It
Well,
will lure you in.
there are some
Right.
cases where demonic, they will disguise themselves as innocent children, so you
Yes.
will invite them in and stuff. So um, you do have to be kind of careful, or they'll pretend to be like family. If you're out there throwing out all the information and stuff, they can be pretty intelligent, and they'll use it, against you. So you do got to kind of be cautious, because they can present themselves as innocent children, or someone, that you may portray as family, and you're like inviting them in, and giving them that. So it's
What's up,
tricky.
White Wolf? Yes, they're very manipulative.
But like I said,
Very
it's not always the
manipulative.
case. It's 9 times out of 10, it's a harmless spirit. Like I said, it's not. You don't
But
always have to be like, oh, well,
when
that
do
could be a
you
demon as a child, but it's usually just a child, and not. There
but
are the
when do
rare
you put your
incidents that it
guard
is
up?
evil.
When do you put your guard up? When do you stand strong and when do you stand down? That's a question that nobody can answer because you're never truly sure if it's if it's actually a child or is it demonic. And that's the biggest thing to this day. You cannot tell if what you're actually looking at is a child or is it a manipulation of a demon making you believe it's a child, sucking you in.
I feel
Yeah,
like
just
you have to use a little bit of discernment with that and you have to go into this trusting your instincts. And so if your instincts start to tell you, hey, something's not adding up here, something's not right, and you're talking with the spirit, you might throw out a statement like, if it's say like if you think you're talking to your grandfather, you may
I'll
say,
be back, guys.
oh, hey, it was really cool how, we went to school together. And if they're like, yeah, then you're not really talking to your grandfather
Exactly. Yeah.
because
You
you can
throw
catch
out
them off
questions that
guard.
there's no way they can answer them, not with a proper answer. I agree with that 100%. But in the heat of a moment, let's say in your right frame of mind, you're not thinking about asking a question of such depth. And all you know is there's a child. Now, most human beings, when a child's hurt, what is their natural reaction?
To comfort
Help
the
that
child.
child. Exactly. So your first response is to help this child. And then things start going a little bit kind of goofy. Now you got to try to regather yourself and try to figure out, is this legit or am I getting played? And at that point now, they've already know they got you on the rocks. So do you understand what I'm saying?
I do, and one of the things that a lot of people don't think about or realize is the space is open as long as both are willing. And so when I'm talking with the spirit and I start to get, like you're saying, where I feel like I build rapport and I feel like it's starting to change, I will say, I'll stop and I'll be like, well, it's been really great talking with you. I hope you enjoy, being here. I have to go and, check out this area. If you want to
So
come, you're welcome.
you're a
And so I
medium.
will stop it. And
You're a medium.
I have some clairvoyance sometimes where I can pick up empathic and some. And so I will trust my instincts or, my gifts with it. And if I start feeling like something's going, like you're saying, funky,
Awry, south, whatever you
I
want to call it.
stop it. And if I feel like if it's a friendly spirit, they're going to follow me and,
But you got to watch
may,
too, though. Even though you think it may be a friendly spirit following you, it might not be.
right. But what I mean is, he may go into like, if I'm in a hallway where there's many rooms, he
What
may go
happened?
into another room and just, I feel him there, but he's not engaging me. He's just there, letting me know he's there, but not like pursuing conversation or anything.
Okay. So
Whereas I feel like if it's an entity that's trying to get me, they'll follow me and they'll keep trying to get me to keep talking, keep trying to engage me, because the more I get afraid of what they're doing and afraid of the fact they don't go, I believe that feeds them. And so they're getting more out of it than I am. And so that's
my wife,
where I
my wife has pictures of my legs, where I've got
Okay.
3 gouges down the back of each leg. 3 gouges down the back of each leg. Like something was trying to pull me out of bed. And it was deep enough where it bled and scabbed. And there's pictures of it. And there's no way that I could have done it in my sleep.
right,
But there's pictures of something that dug my legs. And since that day, I've never been bothered, thankfully. But I never really truly believed that entities could do something like that to a human body till that happened to me. And I tell you what, I was scared for my life till I studied more, and it was like, you know what, I ain't got to be afraid. You were trying to get my attention. Well, they got it.
right. And I have on investigations, I'll tell the team, I don't run. And the reason is that every experience I've had, I've been more curious about understanding it than having something happen to me where, like I felt like my life was in danger. But I feel confident, like in that situation, like you're saying, if something's scratching me and I see blood starting and I'm the only person there, you better believe I'm going to be running for that door.
Well, this happened in my sleep, so I really had no idea, and until my eyes popped open, and
Right.
then it was like, what the hell, Um, Dirty South. Apparently, you've gone through some really, really weird stuff.
We
Yeah,
have, and
it's been
thankfully,
fun and interesting.
yeah, thankfully we haven't had any bad experiences like that, but we kind of, I feel like, keep our guard up for them because we never fully go into location and go, oh, we're surrounded by friendly ghosts. Okay, there's always going to be a part, I believe, that we all have to where we're going to be constantly looking to say, is this really friendly? Are we really safe? Is there nothing
They're
else
not all
around? And
Casper.
so I
They're
feel
not
like,
all Casper.
that part
Kitchen store.
keeps me from experiencing that because I keep my guard up. But until we all experience that the moment to where we find that proverbial button that when it's pressed, everything starts collapsing. We really don't know how we're going to act or react.
Eli, you seen the pictures of my leg, didn't you?
I have.
Hey guys, I hate to jump off here. This has been an absolute blast, but I have 6 children. It's a school night. Does anybody have any questions for me before I jump off here?
I got one.
Okay.
Has anything tried to manipulate or influence your children?
I don't think I've brought anything from their home with me, but I do believe that some of my children have certain abilities, whether it be they'll have it when they grow up, or just the fact that children are more open to spirit than we are. I've had one of my children talk to things that we wouldn't see, and like I said, children are more susceptible to it. So she was doing this before I ever started investigating, but definitely since I've done it, they kind of do like I do, freak themselves out sometimes. They'll be like, "What was that?" Or my daughter. Unfortunately, we lost our dog, Mary Jane. She was hit by a car, and my sister had her cremated for her, and so my kids swear that they've seen her run through our house and stuff.
Then
So
don't deny the kids. If they said they seen her, then they seen her. Trust me.
yeah, they believe it. They were like, she unplugged my TV, and I'm like, I don't know if I believe that part, but they definitely believe that she's still around here and that they've seen her, or I've seen certain things, but I don't, like I said, they've done it before I started the investigation, so I just think that it's something that kids
Always
do.
leave it to children. If they said they seen it, they seen it.
Exactly.
So, all right, guys. Thank you for having me. It's this is one of the best times I've had doing this. I don't do this often. I really am a shy person and don't talk this much unless I really know you. So it's been fun, and thank you for
Man,
having
I
us.
feel
And
privileged because she don't
And
know
thank
me.
you.
This
It's
is
an
the
honor,
first
dude.
time
I
I've ever
appreciate it.
seen her.
It's great meeting you, Brenda.
Yeah, have a
Yeah,
good
you
night,
too.
Tebow.
Brenda.
Have a great night.
And what we'd love to be back in the future, like I said, come with us and just experience
I will.
it for yourself. We'll take care of you.
All right.
Hey,
Cool.
if
All
you
right.
wanna
Bye.
go hunt Bigfoot, I'm in San Antonio and I'm a cryptid hunter, so I can show you all the dogman locations and Bigfoot locations around here.
For
Oh,
sure.
Matt.
Sounds like
Hush
fun.
up.
Yeah. I would love to do that. It's definitely on the bucket list. So I'm on Facebook or where I don't know how you can find me or whatever, but I'm definitely down. I will buy some boots and backpack it up, and we can do this.
Hey,
Eli,
y'all got y'all's gear. I got my camping gear, so you're good on all that.
Eli, been talking a great, been a great talk to all of you as all. But I got to be to work in about 6.5 hours, so I got to go get some rest. Thanks for having me up. Thank you, Michael. Thanks, man. You had some really good points, and I'm glad I got to talk to you. Brenda, you had she just poofed.
We'll tell her for you.
White Wolf, everybody, thanks for letting me come up. Eli, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I had
You
a
have a
good
blessed
time.
night.
Appreciate talking with you.
Take care, Chaos, brother.
All right, Matt.
Here, dude.
You too,
I'll
brother.
stop by next time, man. I've just been going through a hard time right now, so.
I hope you get feeling better, Eli.
Yeah. Me too. I'm over it.
I think I'm having bad internet connections again because of the weather.
You're good, man. You're good. Oh. So, Six Star, what's up,
So
dude?
where are y'all from in Texas?
We're kind of spread out. Brenda is in east, sort of the East Texas side. I'm in the north central side near the Oklahoma area.
Nice.
Near Dallas
We're out
area.
in Granbury,
So
near Fort Worth.
we're spread out.
Nice.
I'm around Madville, USA.
Oh, all the way out there.
It's good to see more Texans getting into it because we do have a big, huge, history out here that not a lot of people explore.
Yes, sir. That's a fact.
I would agree with
Yeah.
you, Second Star. I had posted in the ghost ship group that I'm in some Native American, possibly haunted spots, and I got called out being a Texan going, hey, you're in Texas. What's wrong with all the Texas locations? And I was like, well, share them with me and I'll share them.
Right?
I'm like, you tell me about them. And she shared one with me and I'll be like, when you want to investigate it, let me know. I'll be there.
Yeah, there's a place I love going to. I love going out to Stonewall, but that place has a lot of energy out there, and y'all need to go check that area out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because I want to go investigate, man. It's awesome, man. I could be like cool on one of them. You know what I mean? I'm an investigator
Right?
now. I could stamp it on my T-shirt.
We'll give you one of those like fake police badges that they
Yeah,
give kids when they go on
Yeah, there you
police ride.
in a pizza cart, we eat pizza there.
Yeah.
go. Yeah. Pizza and beer.
Oh yeah. Now we're talking.
Eli will follow y'all around like a lost puppy.
Yep. I'll be like, don't leave me, leave.
Well, actually, funny thing is I've been talking with a lot of people, and they always say the most important people on the team are the ones who are behind the camera because they're the ones seeing all the stuff that you can't see.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
That was pretty cool. Just to hold the camera and we're like, oh, was that you? Oh no, it wasn't. Oh damn.
Unfortunately, I'm the one behind the camera.
Yeah.
It's just me by myself.
Right?
One of those
Other
moments
than
when you see the cameraman run, you know you better be running.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I have my dog right there next
What
to
was
me.
it? There was a. Oh, go ahead, White Wolf.
I was just saying that. Then again, I have my dog right next to me. So if you feel something nudge your leg, don't worry. It's just my dog. Unless you don't see my dog,
Right?
then you can worry.
I will say the one thing I find comical about the paranormal shows is when they're asking questions and asking for responses, and when they get them, they go screaming out of the room. And I'm like, why did you ask a question if you didn't want the answer?
Wow. Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, I love making fun of one specific person that likes to wear bedazzled shirts, on the TV shows. And it's like every time a sound or something comes, or like they could hear, a piece of glass fall from a 300-year-old building, and they're like, "Oh my God, did you hear that? They responded to us."
Dang.
But I would be like that too, man. I would be like, if there's a spirit and like actually spoke to me and opened his mouth, I would have been like, dude, what the hell was that?
Eli, you wouldn't even have said that. You would have made like a Kool-Aid man, outline through the wall.
I would have. I was like, nuh-uh. Because your first experience,
You would have left us all there.
But yeah, at least I could just say, hey, I went paranormal, investigate.
Yeah, you went paranormal hunting for 5 minutes and left.
Know, right? I'm in your car.
You're like, I walked on the site and left. I did my investigation.
Right. Well, after we get done with the investigation and everything, he's like, "What? I went to the car to get the AC running." Like,
yeah, I don't know. To be honest, and you know what? I don't I think I would probably handle it, but I think I would be like sort of like going to an amusement park, thinking, oh my, not like that, but like sort of like, so like, oh my god, was that true? Was that thing? Did I see that thing go by the walls? Like what?
I'm about to go.
How can I tell? Like, how can I say this? It's sort of like going into something like a room or something. How you say it? It's like going into a place
Like
and
claustrophobic.
no. It's like can it's over there in San Antonio. We went to where the wax museums are and everything, and you go in that little
Yeah.
tunnel thing. It's like that, but seeing things on the wall, you would tripped out. And I was like, "What is this really real?" Like,
Yeah.
Kind of like going to a taxidermy.
yeah,
You see all the
Yeah.
about like me and the bear.
Yeah.
nah, I don't know. I think I would have been like so wigged out, and so in the maze too as well. Like if something
Yeah,
would have moved, I would have thought, my heart would have stopped. I would have been like, "What do I do now?"
mm,
Never seen
that'd be
anything.
funny if they started moving while you're in a taxidermist.
Yeah.
You're like,
I never
what the
any
Imagine
hell
if you
was
were
that?
stuffing it and the paw starts moving.
quantum.
Yeah. All of a sudden, you're
So
standing in front of the in front of the bear, getting ready for a picture, and all of a sudden he puts his paw over your shoulder, and then he starts smiling. You turn around and look.
Right? No, it's like it's like
Uh,
going on investigation second star, and like a
yeah.
bear tries to shake my hand, and I give him my Twinkie, and I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man?" Well, I'm like, "Hey, how you
You would
doing?"
get slapped
I was
by
like,
it,
"What the
Eli.
hell are you
You gave a bear a Twinkie. I don't think you'll be standing up very long.
Right?
doing?"
All I hear is like the slap heard around the world, and Eli's on the ground.
Exactly. Can I go home? Can we go eat now? Maybe
He's
go
gonna
Okay,
take the
we saw it
Twinkie
and
and you.
conquered. Let's go.
Right. So, how many places have y'all investigated in Texas alone?
Oh boy. Me with Dirty South, I have investigated, let's see, I would say at least 10 places.
Nice. Yeah.
We've
There's
been to about, I'll probably say 30, because we've been
right.
investigating for 3 years now. But we started our own team back 2 years back, and then
Yeah.
we just actually started uploading on YouTube about 7 months ago. A lot of the first ones you'll see like lives from our Facebook.
Yeah. Cool. I'll be checking y'all out later and everything, and be joining y'all's family soon. So,
We appreciate that, and you know what? Maybe
hey,
we can
anytime,
collab.
brother. Anytime.
Maybe we can collab one day, and you come down here and
Yeah.
investigate with us.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll do it. I got y'all.
My,
I can set up us a base camp and everything, and I'll have the fire rolling and some MREs for us.
Dude, I think he's missing ghost hunting. No.
Oh, well, I'm down to
hey,
ghost hunt,
we can
UFO
go
hunt,
ghost hunting. We can go
anything.
look for some Bigfoot. We can do alien hunting. It doesn't matter. It's all fun.
Or hairless Mexico.
Hey, all our fields collab together. I mean,
That'd be
you
awesome.
can't
hey,
have one without the other.
Yeah, we're
I'll
gonna be
bring the zebra.
collabing with Amy with What the Paranormal in March.
I really want.
Yeah.
I got to get myself going. I want to go.
Ain't a sweetheart.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, she's
we've already
pretty
met up
cool.
with her once before. She's awesome.
Yeah,
Terry.
Yeah.
she was a
Hey,
lot of fun.
I'll bring the zebra meat and I can grill
There you go, brother.
it. And the coffee.
Yeah, I'll eat anything as long as it's cooked on a fire.
Hey, there you go.
Right, Doris?
Right?
As long as it ain't bloody.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh no, sir. This is you got to slow cook zebra, otherwise,
All
you know,
right.
you'll end up with parasites like you couldn't imagine. But
Yeah,
I
I've
mean,
heard
it's
that.
Okay, Doris.
It's
I know.
better than beef. It really is,
I believe
especially
it.
when it's
Yeah. I heard it's
when it's
better than
ground up.
Axis.
It is. Red stag is probably about the best for the wild game,
Yeah.
but zebra. I mean, the best is when it's ground up and like hamburger meat.
Yeah.
And oh my God, everybody loves the way I fix grilling. You know,
Me and you, White
literally.
Wolf, we still got to do a collab together, brother.
Hey, I'm waiting. Shoot,
I know.
you just shoot the
Hey,
word.
all of us, all of us Texans need to get together and do something. We need to have like
Go to
a
Waterburg.
Texas get together.
Hey, let's link up. I got a few of us meeting up March 27th, Old Nazareth
Okay.
Hospital in Mineral Wells.
Oh,
Mineral Wells.
really?
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
wow.
it's 7 stories, and then the crematorium out back.
And we've
Yeah,
actually
yeah, yeah.
opened
I
it
know
up
what you're
to
talking
where
about.
the oven room is available where they
We
burn
we
the
we
bodies.
luckily a few months back got to go into the Crazy Water Hotel.
Can you like lay in the
Nice.
oven?
I think we do have the sliding tray in, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
That thing's original and
You don't
probably
know about
hasn't
those
been cleaned
logs.
in ever.
especially
Yeah.
when it's lit. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
I
But
hadn't
I
been in
mean,
mineral wells in a coon's age, and last time
yeah.
I was there, I had to appraise some horses,
That goes.
and
Mhm.
then work with those horses. It was like 14 head, and
Nice.
I had to break them, train them, and shoe them back then. After I appraised
Yeah.
about 30 head, and yeah, wow, it's been a long time.
Yeah. It's beautiful out there. I'll tell you
It,
that. It
it
is.
is. My dad, he still lives up in Gatesville after about 40 years.
Right.
So I
We
I need
yeah,
I need to get back out that way.
yeah. Um after this live stream and everything, I'll get with Eli and get y'all's information and stuff.
Yeah, just shoot us a message on Instagram or Twitter.
Sounds good, brother. Sounds
I
good.
I think I follow y'all on Instagram.
Yeah, I believe you do.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right.
We appreciate all our followers.
Yes, sir.
Hey.
I appreciate every one of y'all, even the
Yeah.
ones in the chat. Shoot.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
Y'all
look,
just we're
we
all
just
just
got
one
into
big
the
family.
YouTube not that long ago, and we gained a lot of friends and family. We love the YouTube community.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'll
There's
say,
a lot of good on here.
yeah, I've been noticing a lot of times in the chat. I've been watching it. They'll mention the UK, and I have actually I went to Rennes-le-Chateau in France and walked around there at night and had a paranormal experience. And I
Wow.
Yeah.
so wish at that time I was an investigator because I would have totally approached it differently.
Hmm.
But that was a total just paranormal experience. And I was like, wow. And so I actually have been known to go, if I can, out of country. So I'm not limited to the US. So the people in
Yeah.
the panel from the UK and Europe, I'm like, hey, I support you guys too when I can.
I hear
Right.
that.
So you think that one incident is one of the stepping stones that got you into the paranormal?
I think it may have been a stepping stone to trust my instincts because what happened was we spent a week in southern France going around to places on
Yeah.
tours, and our hotel was at the foot of Rennes-le-Chateau. And
Mm.
so one night we went there and we got all the way to the gate, and just something in me just felt so wrong. I looked at
Yeah.
my roommate and I said, dude, we got to turn back. And we were
Yeah.
hearing like
people running in the woods up the path, and there's, it's close to midnight. Everyone's asleep. And
Right.
so I was like, yeah, dude, this is not cool. We need to go back. And so we went back, and the next night we were like, hey, let's try again. Maybe,
Yeah.
something was, it was a fluke. And so the next
Yeah.
night we actually got up and we were walking through the city being quiet. And I
Mm-hmm.
got to the Tour Magdala and we were walking around it. And my friend heard something and went to check it out. And when he got out of eyesight, I turn
Uh-huh.
around and there's this lady floating in a white dress across the path into the
Huh.
Tour Magdala. And I was like,
Nice.
holy crap. Did I just
Yeah.
see a woman floating by?
Hey,
Yeah.
you seen something that a lot of investigators wish they could see.
Mm. What come to mind is Joey from Friends. How you doing? But
Yeah,
in a different way though.
yeah, she didn't look that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're like, wait a
She
minute,
was probably
what
all
did I just
gussied
say?
up and ready to go out for the night.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the funny thing about it was the next day we went to this castle and it goes, this castle is haunted by a woman in white who's said to predict your death. And I was like, oh, great.
Really? I almost
I was
asked her
like,
out.
well, thank God I wasn't here last night.
Right? That makes you ask questions, It's
Yeah, I'm like, are my days numbered now because I just saw a woman in white?
I'm glad I'm seeing somebody because I probably would have hollered at her and asked her out. So,
right.
whoops.
All right, I got to get off here again. The motion sensors are going off at the Onion Huebner house again. Hey, it was great talking to y'all. I will get with Eli and get y'all's information and hit y'all up on Instagram and everything. All right.
Sounds
You have
great.
a blessed night.
Hey, y'all too. Y'all take care, brothers.
You
Later,
too.
brother.
Later.
Be safe. And now there's 4.
No.
And then there was the Four Musketeers.
Hey, there you go. Even though they did say, "Oh yeah, it's the Three Musketeers," nah,
Oh yeah.
4.
I know.
Right.
What is up with that? If I was
Oh.
D'Artagnan, I would have been pissed if they kept saying the Three Musketeers. I'm like, what am I, chopped liver?
I would have said the same thing too. I'm right there in your shoes. Shoot, no. We're like, wait a minute, what?
That's cool.
That would be funny to go on an investigation in France and meet the Musketeers and be like, so D'Artagnan, what was it like never getting credited as being a Musketeer?
Right.
That would be pretty cool to live back then, though. Like, eating the food. And,
Well, I mean, my bloodline is, not just Viking and Apache, but it's also French. So, it kind of makes me wonder.
I actually did ancestry on my father's side. I have Viking, Norwegian,
Hmm.
Danish, and German, and French, and God, pretty much all of Europe mixed in there.
nice.
That's very interesting. I don't really know all of my heritage, just like the only thing that my mom and my father found out. Okay, my grandfather, he was from Louisiana, so it's pretty much French, I guess. The last name is French, and then Apache. That's all I know on my dad's side. My
That's a pretty
mom's,
cool mix.
thank you. On my mom's side, the American Indian relates all the way back to Powhatan, but on her father's side, he was kidnapped over in England. I forget what year, and then he finally escaped as soon as he hit stateside here in America. And some of the ancestors after the Civil War, um, they had went out and branched off from Dallas and went due south towards Houston, and the rest of them kept going out to California and made actors and actresses. So, all right, do y'all know Julie Andrews from The Sound of Music?
Yes.
She's supposed to be one of my kinfolk.
Wow,
And
that's pretty cool.
Steve Forrest, Hondo, aka of the TV series of the 70s,
SWAT.
supposed to be SWAT Hondo. Supposed to, I'm not really sure if she was actually accurate, but that's supposed to be that side of the family on my mom's grandfather's side after he was actually adopted by the Andrews after he
Wow,
got
that's pretty cool.
stateside. But on our grandmother, on her mom's side, Lord of Tinslew, Black Dutch, somewhere along the line is Saxon, Norwegian, Viking, and uh, some knights running there somewhere. So, I mean, that's really all I know of all of my bloodline for right
That's
now.
pretty cool. Our my parents and I, we've always kind of like, I mean, can't explain it, but we see Native American art and stuff like that, and we always feel drawn to it. And thought, hey, we gotta have Native American in us. Took the DNA test, found out we have 0 Native American. We were so sad.
That the funny thing is, my buddy, where I'm actually at helping him with his mom right now, uh, probably another reason why my internet's kind of so messed up. They're actually more Cherokee than anything, and we're actually related on somewhere through the line, some distant cousins, and his sister lives up in Montana. She took that test and it come back negative also. And her mom, their mom, I went to school with her. And she's over half, and her mom's got the Indian card to prove it. And they both
so there's
come up.
still hope.
So, and the funny thing is, my dad's grandmother, I think it's his grandmother, is over 3/4. Yeah, yeah. She was just about full blood Apache on my dad's side, his grandma. So,
I gotta tell you, when I saw your name, White Wolf, I was like, dude, Wolf. I so feel like it's my spirit animal. One of them. I feel so kin to the wolf. It's like people when I was younger would always say, "What would be your ideal pet?" And I'd say a wolf, and they're like, "No, really, a pet that you can keep." And I was like, "A wolf." And they're like, "You can't have a wolf." I'm like, "Well, then screw it. I don't want a pet."
that was me too. Well, I mean, the way I see it is, you can't keep one,
No,
but they can keep you. It makes you wonder.
it
You know,
does.
your spirit animal could be a wolf. That's a very, very highly possibility.
And having this conversation totally just triggered a memory in my head where I was on a camping trip for one of my birthdays in the mountains here in Texas, and we were walking, or I was alone walking up the side of the hill, and it's like I feel like I blacked out because it's like everything after that moment just feels like it was purely a dream. But it's like I saw these wolves, and there was a black wolf and gray wolves, and there were cubs, and I was able to go up and pet them. And as I was leaving, the black wolf charged me, but I didn't feel like it was a threatening charge. And it's like I felt it jump in, like it would be in my system, but never came out the other side.
Hmm. That could be kind
And
of like one of the vision quests.
right.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to go. I hope y'all have a good night.
Yeah,
Okay.
I need to head out too because I gotta let my little pup out for the night and get ready for tomorrow.
And Eli,
All
we would
right.
love to come back. We had fun. Hopefully, we'll be back on soon.
Okay, bro. Sorry, kids. I took care of
Yep.
my daughter
So,
question. Yeah.
my apologies for boring y'all to death.
No, 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 no.
Oh
No,
no,
no, no,
not at
man.
all.
Just have to take care of my daughter real quick. She's acting up.
Oh yeah.
No, I would say this has been a blast, and this is the first time being on a Q&A panel, so to speak, and man, I thought it was a lot of fun.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'll be hitting you up next month.
All right,
Sounds good.
Thank you, Michael.
y'all have a blessed night.
All right, guys.
Yep, everybody stay safe and warm and enjoy the weather.
Thank
Y'all
you.
too, and I'd love to collaborate with all y'all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Come
send
on,
us a
man.
message and we'll happily try and set something up.
Yes, sir. I'll check you out on. I'm not sure if I'm following everybody, but I'll definitely do it now.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and I don't respond much on Instagram, but usually I respond more on Facebook. But
Okay.
I'm one of those that sometimes I get busy, and so if I don't respond right away, don't think I
Thanks, Seth.
forgot. Just life happens.
Oh yeah.
That's the same with me on my Facebook too.
I don't have Facebook. Too much drama.
That's true.
Very true.
All right. Well, y'all don't have too much fun out there, and hopefully see y'all next time.
Yep, look forward to it.
Yes, sir.
Have a
I
great night,
enjoyed
everyone.
y'all too. I
All right.
enjoyed tonight.
So did I.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
Eli. Good
All right.
night.
Thank you, Eli.
Michael, you appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, guys.
All right, I'll jump off of here, Eli.
Okay, well, thanks, man. Appreciate you coming up.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Michael.
Thank you. And do you have any questions before I jump off?
I mean, it's just it's interesting that like how we could come together, and no matter if like we haven't investigated an area or, and um I just want to thank you, man, because I mean, like, a lot of people wouldn't do this, you know what I mean? Well, I mean, a lot of people wouldn't give me a chance to, talk to them about about the paranormal, and you know, about their life, with paranormal. And
Right.
I know it takes a toll out on you too, as well.
Well, and the ironic thing is this is probably my third or fourth interview, and I'd never thought in a million years that anything I've done people would want to listen to, or let alone, interview me for. And so it's like when they started saying, yeah, people are wanting to interview us, I was like, really?
Oh yeah,
Wow, that's kind of cool.
I like your channel. I was checking you guys out, and I was just like, um, yeah, I was checking you out, and I was just like, I was thinking, I was like, oh, y'all guys, seem like a good, team to interview, because I mean, I'm just always interested in what you guys feel and see, I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's interesting, I thought, okay, I'll bring them up on my panel and I'll ask a lot of questions because I like asking a lot of questions, I mean, there's endless questions that I want to know about the paranormal, and even cryptids too, Matt.
Right.
But
And I'm into UFOs too, and
oh, I
aliens
know
and
what
all
sounds
that stuff. I'm like, man, when Brenda mentioned that, I was like, oh, I
I should
totally
have
should have
done that,
grabbed
dude.
that.
Well, see, the reason why I don't want to go on and on because I don't want to bore you guys and be like, this guy's asking too many questions. I mean, I really want to get into the UFOs and if you ever experienced anything like, um,
I have, but we can always say that for another show. And
oh yeah, cool.
I'm like, I'm one of those rare people to where if you're asking me a lot of questions that I feel like are legit and honest, like curious questions, I'm like, dude, I'll sit there all night answering them.
Yeah,
But if I feel like, hey, these questions are starting to get silly and
I
goofy
know.
and going,
See,
wait, what?
see,
Then
Michael,
I'm
I
like,
really don't know much.
let's get back into this, or let's call it a night.
Well, I mean, I really don't know much about it, to be honest. I just wanted to know, like, have you experienced them, or have you seen any aliens or anything?
I don't know that I've seen aliens per se, but I have seen UFOs and I have seen stuff in the sky that I can't explain. And so, and truth be told, I had an experience that for the life of me, I still can't explain. And I was doing something that a friend invited me on called sky watching, where you're watching the sky for UFOs.
Yeah,
And we're on a covered stage area, how it's got the tall roofs and everything. And I'm in the middle of it against a wall, and a rock falls behind me
yeah,
out of nowhere. I'm like, it just was like, it's like one of those moments where you sit there and you're like, okay, wait a minute, did this really just happen? And I'm like, and my first reaction is to look around, and I'm like, nobody's here. And the lady next to me that runs the property is like, did you just hear that? I was like, yeah. And we started walking away, and I turned and I put my flashlight on the ground. I was like, oh my God, there's like a quartz crystal or something on the ground. And she's like, I would say something wants you to have that. And I'm looking all over the stage, like zero place this could have been tossed from, and someone's messing with me. And there was no way this rock could have been thrown over my head to fall behind me. It was like literally just appeared out of nowhere.
yeah. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so
It's like it was made for you, man.
yeah, and it's like when you were saying, that's why when you were saying, I want this, I want this, I was like, dude, you got to go into it not expecting it, because if you're expecting it, you may not get it, and then you're going to be like, oh, this is all full of nonsense, and it's like, but you missed all of this.
I know, right? Sometimes I'm just like I'm the kind of person where I'm just like, where's it at? Where's it at? And it's right
Yeah.
in front of my face, I know, right, Seth? A long time no see. But no, I mean I'm interested because just like I know that a lot of people say, internet. I mean they probe this and probe that, and I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like, but no, I don't know much about aliens, and to be honest, I wouldn't talk about it because, like I was saying, I'm not. I'm more like a paranormal person to actually ask questions about that than UFOs,
Yeah.
and that
Well,
goes into like what do you call it? Uh like just it just goes on a lot about, like a lot of like he says this, who says that,
Right.
I'm a you.
My take on it has I always felt like Contact, that movie, summed it up so perfectly that
Oh
The
yeah,
universe is so vast to think we're the only life form here is makes us just asinine
yeah,
because it's so much space out there to say nothing's out there is absurd in my opinion.
yeah. I
But
agree.
then again, it could be. Who knows?
Exactly, I agree. I mean, it's like I was watching Ghost Hunter show, and they thought they caught a spirit, but it was a gray, and I was just like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, cause I mean, paranormal, I do agree, but I mean, I just never experienced any aliens or spaceships or something like that, you know. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really, ask questions about that because I really know much about it, and I don't want to act like I know about it, and I'm not all about it, you know. So,
No, I totally understand that. And there are times I'll hold stuff back because I'm like, yeah, if I say this, they're all going to say, oh, he's making that up. And I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, I don't want to go there. So I'll just keep it to myself.
Oh yeah, a lot of people, if you go out there and say you've seen it, they're gonna be like, okay, buddy, like go take another drink. Yeah, I'm just saying, a lot of people do
Yeah,
like that. I mean, I believe, honestly, I do, but I haven't seen it yet. And I'm open for any possibilities, you know,
right.
topics or whatever. I just got to do research on it. So yeah.
Yeah, and it was kind of funny being in that spot. We were walking a trail, and this lady goes, see that X over there? I said, yeah. And she goes, that's usually a sign of a Bigfoot around. I was like, that's pretty cool. And I said, but did you notice how the X, there's a smaller X behind it? So it's like a portal opening up. And she looked and goes, oh my God, I've never looked at how that lines up with this. And oh my God, you could be right. And it's like, you come in with fresh eyes. And that's
Well,
why I say, I like the lives, is because fresh eyes can see stuff
nice
that
one.
you're not seeing because you're so focused on.
Yeah, you're focused on. You see, that's my. They have everybody on their phones all the time. They're not looking up because they know, the government's always up to something. Hate to sound like that, but yeah,
Oh, I totally feel you on that.
you know what I mean. Like,
Don't even get me started on that.
well, man, I got an hour. Just kidding.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. I know you got to go too. I know.
Yeah, we could do like an hour show on just the conspiracies out there.
Yeah, for real, man. Let me know, man. I'll do one, and I'll get my information together, and because with me, I like doing research, on things like
Yeah.
that, and I'm game, man. Let me know. Let me know when you want to do it, and
Yeah.
I'll set up a time.
One you might look into that's a huge conspiracy right now in the forefront
Hmm.
would be is I don't know your political affiliation, but there is a conspiracy theory. Well, it's a conspiracy theory until proven true. Is the Constitution says that the president's inaugurated at noon on this day.
Hmm.
Biden was elected 11:55 or 11:59, not at noon. So
Wow,
therefore is not a legit president.
wow, man.
And it's like, yeah, there's so many things like that to where they're like, you sit there and go, wait, what?
Yeah, wow, that's amazing, man. I didn't know. I don't think about it. Yeah, because I always seen like 111 or two.
Right.
'Cause a lot of people they see like numbers everywhere, and they think, oh my god, what does that mean?
Well,
So,
there is legend about like 111, 222 is like a master number, and so it's like an angelic divine number and has meaning assigned to it.
wow.
But yeah, I always feel like when something happens at like 222 or 444 or 1111, I'm always like,
Fine, like
ooh, what am I thinking in this moment? Why did I stop and notice this time?
yeah, makes you think like what is it? Like what am I noticing? What am I? Is it a time and place something's gonna happen, or is it the end of the world or something? Like I mean, I know it's crazy thinking,
Yeah.
but why
Or
not?
it could be like a guide. It's like, what are you trying to tell me right now?
Hey, magical mystery. I want yeah, it's interesting to think, even with spirits too. I mean, like, actually think, like, I mean, what is on the other side? Is it just a black void, or is it true that they stay behind, so they can watch over their loved ones, or maybe have a maybe tell them or ask them a question, or pass on the message, or say, hey,
Yeah.
there's a new car in the parking lot. The car keys are down there. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh man, you never know.
Right.
Oh my together.
I personally feel like there are, they could probably stay behind and watch, but I think they also can go to different places
Mm-hmm.
and do other experiences. I don't feel like the journey ever ends. I feel
Mm-mm.
like it's just our journey takes a new form and a new way.
Do you think their technology um is advanced than ours? I mean, like, you think about it, they must be, because back then, like in Reagan days, I think it was Reagan. Don't get me wrong. There was they said there was spaceships
Yeah,
flying
the
around
Star
the
Wars program.
White House and stuff like that. That's what I heard.
Yeah. I would say probably more advanced in they're more aware of the universe and how the universe works.
Yeah.
Because I kind of agree with some of the ancient alien theory of, traveling from universe to universe to our minds would take too long. But in their minds, they know where the wormholes are, so they know how to navigate it, get through, and they could probably do in days what would take us centuries.
Yeah.
And so I would say, yeah, they definitely could
That
visit us and
like,
probably helped us some, but
yeah.
we're just too naive and young to understand and go, oh, we can do that. And we're
Yeah.
still going, oh, we can barely use any good fuel to get off our planet.
The SSDI project. Oh wow. Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, it makes you think. Like, I mean, all this new technology we came up with, like, we get it from them?
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
If there's something you want to investigate, there's a show I found on Travel Channel that's kind of piques my curiosity. That's super cool and is not really well known. Is look into the Alaska Triangle.
Okay, I will. That's
The Travel Channel is running a show on it right now,
okay.
and they're saying like there have been three up to probably 10 to 30 times as many people disappeared from there than Bermuda's Triangle, but nobody knows it exists. And they claim to have cryptids, UFOs there. I
Wow,
mean, it's like a paranormal haven of everything there.
that is wild.
And I was like, I wanted to say that in the when you said dream spot. I was like, I want to go investigate the Alaska Triangle, but then it's like,
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah. Well,
people might think that's more
no,
conspiracy, and they're like,
no,
that's
like
not real. And so
conspiracy.
I was like, stick with the real stuff.
I like conspiracy because it brings the light about stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes you think. That's what I like, is it makes you think and form your own opinion versus just swallowing the pill that we've been told and going, oh yeah,
Exactly. I mean, and that's why I like doing this, because I'm curious. I'm curious, like, what you guys go through, and I respect you guys, and everything else, because I'm thinking, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, I'll be out there soon, and I'll be like, oh my god, like, because it's just like seeing something paranormal in your house, and it's like it's different than going out there to see paranormal, something happening paranormal and on the property.
right.
So man, yeah.
Now I can tell you, one night we were at the old Nazareth,
Hmm.
and there's, not all the windows are um, closable. Some of them are open or broken.
Yeah.
Well, we were in this room where there was obviously a broken window, and pages started going like this in three different books. Like one would lift up, drop back down, then the farthest from, and then the middle book, and then all three would lift up and go
Oh
back down.
wow.
And we're like, and everyone on the live is like, oh, it's the wind, it's the wind, it's got to be the wind coming from the window. And I'm like, yeah, it could be. I don't feel a breeze though.
Yeah.
But then the cabinet door above starts
Mhm.
swinging open and closing. And I back up and turn to the side, and there's another door slightly open,
Oh
but
wow.
only this one's moving. And I'm like, explain that.
Mm. Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It makes you think. Like, I'm like, I know, especially with like people that are attached to something when they die. It's like I always thought that they were just holding the damn computer and didn't want to let go. But now they wanted to haunt their whole house. You know.
Well, have you ever heard of the term residual haunt?
Oh yeah.
I think that's what that is, and I think a lot of times people misunderstand that.
Mm,
People are living their lives, and so you're just seeing them living their life,
yeah.
doing what they did, and
And then die.
our fact of going, oh my God, this person's haunting my house. I'm like, well, who's to say this wasn't their house first? And they're
Exactly.
just maintaining their house. Your house just happens to be built over their house.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And so, yeah, I really liked when they started clarifying there's residuals and the different types of haunts, because then I think it started bringing more validity into the field of than just saying, oh, it's this, and everyone's like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And it's like,
It's
yeah, we need to stop just,
it's like a funnel ghost. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
they're they take a picture and it comes out in the picture. You know, and that's how what funnel ghosts are. And a lot of people are just like funnel ghosts. They like swirl up onto the ground. I was like, no, you got to take a picture, and it's in the picture. You know.
yeah.
I think that's interesting. Like I still read up on things, and I'm just like, oh, maybe I'll ask that next time. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
My favorite was I was listening to this lady doing an interview about paranormal, and
Mm,
somebody said, what's your feeling on like when ghosts get angry? And her answer, it made me kind of laugh, but it like made me think too, is going, if you're living there and you're just going about your day and someone keeps yelling at you, oh my God, you're a demon. Oh my God, you're this. Oh my God, you're that.
yeah,
You're going to start getting pissed off and start reacting.
yeah. I
And
would.
it's like, how many of these ghosts that are like, Chaos was saying, scratching his legs, were really kind spirits that just got tired of people saying, I'm an angry spirit, I'm an evil spirit, and are now
Yeah,
going, the hell with you. I don't care if you said it or not. You're
exactly.
the same type of person. You're the person, like species wise or something,
Yeah.
and going, I'm just gonna lash out. And it's like, dude, I totally never would have said that. And they're like, oh, whoops.
No, I mean, it's like I die and like someone cussing at me. It's like, okay, don't do that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I
I mean, you can only take it so long, and then you're gonna be like, enough is enough.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't want to say I'm gonna die, but let's say I'm sitting here and I die, and let's say I open my computer and then boom, I'm dead on the ground. You know what I mean? I'm gonna relive that death. I'm see.
Right.
Here's one thing. Like I know that they don't. I know that's just a part of them. That's just a part of that. This part of that stain of them. But what I don't get is like they die. They go to the pearling gates or whatever they're supposed to go to or whatever, get judged, right? But what I want to understand is like why didn't they take that part of themselves with them? Is it because they enjoy that computer so much? Is it enjoy they enjoy that family they want to look after? But that's what I don't get, you know?
Dude, are you in a storm?
No, my daughter's messing with my lights.
Oh, because the light started flickering
No,
behind you, and I was like,
yeah, she likes messing with my lights a lot. So
I was about to
yeah.
say, dude, I think you got a haunt behind you.
No. Well, they said there's a little girl behind, like dead behind me. Like, but I
Yeah.
mean, she doesn't hurt me. I mean, but what I don't get, I want to know. I mean, that's just something that don't bug me. It's bugging me. Like, I mean,
Yeah, that's why when you asked me, and I liked how you asked that, do you think everything automatically is this? And I was like, no, because I want to give a spirit the benefit of the doubt that, hey, it's just there.
yeah,
It's not got any, feelings whatsoever.
Yeah.
But when you start calling it this or that, then it's gonna react.
I mean, it makes you think though. It makes you think about just everything in time. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, when you're dead, you don't know your time. You don't know your space. And I mean, I don't know. Do you believe in heaven and hell?
I do.
What's your take on that?
Um, I think you asked us that, but I don't think we really answered it. But my take is heaven is just another step in the journey to where we can go to other worlds or
Hmm.
other, places or completely freely roam around the earth. But
Hmm.
personally, my definition of hell, I would say, is we're pretty much living on it right now.
Yeah,
I mean, looking at how crappy people treat each other all over this
it
planet,
is
I was like, that's pretty much the definition of hell that everybody has.
exactly. So you don't believe in Hades? You don't believe in like
Um, I kind of believe in an underworld, but I don't believe it's like the fire brimstone that
yeah,
everybody does. I kind of just believe it's like when a spirit, can't accept that it died or felt like it was wronged in life and died under, wrongly,
mhm,
it could be stuck here and, it just keeps living over and over and over. And so to me, that's kind of the definition of the underworld is when, as a spirit,
mhm.
you, it's kind of like the movie Crow. If you remember that series where he couldn't let go, so the crow brought him back, and he was able to right the wrong
Yeah,
because he was so passionate about it.
yeah,
I believe that stuff is real. That probably really could happen. Now,
could
would he take physical form and be able to do all that stuff? I don't think. I can't guarantee that.
exactly.
But it's still pretty cool to think that hey, it could. You could as a spirit do it, but would you be in physical form? I don't think if your body was full of holes or decomposing, it's gonna miraculously heal itself up and be like
Yeah,
brand new.
it's sort of like we're the vessel, and the
Right.
soul is everlasting. And I mean, we can go through walls. We can see our loved ones at times. See, what I don't get is, I mean, because I always see these movies and everything. I know it's just movies. I know, but a dead person looking at a picture, and he goes, "I'm gonna go back to this time." I mean, I wonder if that's how they do it.
I think it is possible because I mean, look at my experience. Like I was experiencing Vicksburg as if I was standing right there, being a part of it.
Hmm.
So I would say, if as a human, if we can do it, oh, I'm sure the spirits can do it so much better and faster.
Yeah. So you believe that spirits can travel?
I do. I don't think they're locked to a certain place. Like, if somebody dies in a cornfield in Iowa, I don't think they're going to spend eternity in a cornfield in Iowa. I
Yeah.
feel like, if somebody comes along and says, hey, there's a spirit, they're going to attach to that person if, they don't know how they're, what they're doing and go with them. And now they got a new place.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah, I always think it's like it's where the last place they used to be happy. You
Right.
know, they're gonna go. I don't know. I'm not there, but I just know. I don't know. You know.
I mean, but to me as well as though, I mean, I hold the present thought of if these people can walk through walls, can manipulate objects,
Hmm.
why could they not walk off of the property to somewhere else and visit somewhere they've always wanted to go?
Well, see, because like I was watching this one movie, I can't forget I forgot what it was. I gotta find it. And the mom, dad, the kid died, right? And so suddenly they're dead. So all of a sudden, through the whole movie, they see this couple and this person trying to get rid of the spirit there. What is she? So like a healer or something like that. And
Right.
she's trying to get rid of the spirit there. So then all through the movie that's happening, I'm just like, hmm. And in the movie, when they know they're gone, um, I see. I was just reading what Second Star was saying. So the kid tries to go open the door, and he can't get out. He goes, "Mom, am I ever going to go to school again? Why are we just eating this? Why can't we eat something else? Can I go play with my friends outside?" She goes, "No, you can't." All through the movie, they try to go out. They just see a white light. They cannot leave. So the movie intenses, and all of a sudden, the phone rings, and the dad, he tries to open the phone, but it keeps on turning off. It's the girl that she was having an affair with. They was having an affair with. So then all of a sudden, these demons start coming out and try to get him because of what he did. What he did, he killed his wife and his son. And in the movie, they killed the dad. The dad was just like, at first the dad was all like, "Oh, we need to move on from this. We need to move on from this." And the mom was just, and the mom was just like, "No, you killed us. Forget you. Get out of this room, whatever." So then the demons killed the dad and everything else, and you should see the demon like laughing at him, like shooting a gun at him, just tormenting the poor kid. Saying that, hey, this is how you died. Constantly, constantly putting his finger to the kid's head. And so, long story short, they get out of the house, they cross the light, and they leave.
Right.
And what I'm thinking is is that a residual? You know what I mean?
I
Like,
wouldn't say it's residual as much as the spirits, that were, probably overwatching it. Like you're saying, the demon who kept putting the gun to the kid,
mm-hmm,
that kid's too afraid to go outside.
mm-hmm,
So that, whoever was holding the gun was getting stronger and stronger
mm-hmm.
by making them believe they couldn't go outside and
Yeah,
being in fear. And the second they let go of their fear of him and went outside,
you're free.
they, went for the
It's
light and were done.
So is that called like living in a loop, or sort of, or
I wouldn't say
calling?
living in the loop. I would say more of like kind of in a way a possession
It's sort
where
of,
he would not, he took ownership of them and would not let them go.
yeah. They would torment them every single time by letting them relive their deaths over and over and over again.
And so until you stand up and say enough is enough, you don't have power over me, they'll just keep going and going and going because you're just feeding them and feeding them. And so that's why I don't think it's residual, because residual is more like mom making bacon, cooking breakfast in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Every time you see the spirit there, she's at the kitchen, in the kitchen making breakfast.
Hmm.
That's a residual. She's just redoing everything she did in life.
That's annoying. I couldn't think I could do that for real.
But I mean, and a lot of times when you think about it, it's like I was trying to say when during the interview, when
Yeah.
as a person, I think you stepped out when I was talking about it, was as a person, when you're going through life, you try to be seen. And when people don't see you, you feel ignored. And so you just do the same thing over and over. And the second somebody says, I see you, you're like, oh my God, you can see me. And you get all excited and everything. And
Yeah.
that's what I think some of these residual haunts are, is people have been unable to see or hear them. So they just keep doing something in the hopes that somebody will see
Right.
them someday and, give credence to their
Mm.
life and go, hey, okay, now I'm good. I can go.
Yeah. So it's sort of like a interactive personality ghost, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I think that, I mean, who doesn't want to be acknowledged? But at the same time, you want to be acknowledged the right way. You don't want like someone walking up and pointing their finger at you, going, "Oh my God, you're the person who did this, this, and this," and it's like, I did other things.
Thanks,
Like,
Dory.
I mean, Alfred Nobel. I mean, he built TNT, dynamite,
Yeah,
and realized, and I personally feel like when did it, he realized this is what he's going to be remembered for:
exactly.
massive death,
Exactly.
trauma. That he developed the Peace Prize to try and balance the scale.
Exactly. I agree on that one.
And so, it's kind of like, spirits, I feel like, are the same way. Is they want to be acknowledged, but for the good they did, not the wrong.
Yeah. So that's what they're trying to call out to us. But sometimes they sound like they're trying to hurt you and trying to, like they look like they're scary, but they're not.
Yeah.
Who's Big Star? Well, I'm about to end this. I'm tired. I'm going to bed, and
Yeah. I'm just looking at the time and going, wow.
yeah, I know, right? Well, I mean, I try to maybe keep it like an hour and 30 minutes for, interview. But the topics just, it's amazing how the topics can, intense, when you're on
Oh,
panel.
yeah.
Because you guys are sharing you guys' real experiences. It's not textbook. Um,
Right. And there's no right or wrong answers. This is what we experienced. And that's why I would, in the interview, at some points go, "What's your take, Brenda?" To pass the baton is, because I was like, I know your take may not be my take, and so I'm acknowledging, hey, as a team we're family, so we know there's differences. Here's a chance to see it.
exactly. You got that right. Sometimes I just think that we just gotta we just gotta be family and just get together and you know
Yeah,
for each other.
I like the one saying somebody put out that goes, "The paranormal field is the only field that can have no experts."
Exactly.
Because the
It's like a,
second you say you're an expert in it,
it's like
everyone's like, "You're done."
it's like to better understand the paranormal, we must be open to all possibilities and new ideas.
Exactly.
We can't just stick with the old ideas. We're also gonna be with the stick with new ones.
Yep. Well, I say we should table this conversation for the next interview.
All right, thank you, man. Thanks for
Yeah.
coming up, and I appreciate you sharing your journey. And yeah,
Well,
hopefully.
I appreciate you giving us the time to have this interview.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a great night and get to feeling better.
All right, thank you.
All right. I'm going to head out.
All right, I see you, Michael.
All
Thanks
right.
for
Bye bye.
coming. Well, guys, comes into my night, and man, Saturday I got a good interview. Please don't miss it. And um, I've been doing good. I'm just waiting for my swelling to. It's going down, but I think it's not. Because it hurts to walk on still a little bit, and I'll get there, and I got some better plans to get myself up more. And I know I was supposed to make another video about this. Thanks, Second Star. I try. You know what I mean? Like, I just didn't have my cam on today because I wasn't. I was a little sore today, so But I want to say, thanks, guys. Like, I appreciate it. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here. And it's a struggle. And I'm glad I have family like you guys to back me up and always be there for me. And just want to say thank you for being a part of our journey and for letting us be a part of yours. Just want to say, God bless you. Take care. Have a good night. See you, everybody.